All right, how we doing, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Ascension. It's been quite some time since we've had a game. It's nice that we're finally getting back into it. Kind of thankful that we're able to sit down and play this game once again. It just feels like an eternity. I think it's been over a month now since we played. So last we had played, we had just finished off the Dead and They modules. So now we're moving ahead with the Against the Giants module here. So it should be pretty good. A lot of fun. Let's go ahead and just get right into our news. First and foremost, everybody needs to make sure that you go out and vote on Tuesday. Very important to everybody. It's something that you should take pride in doing, and I am an advocate for making sure new voters get out as much as, you know, the people like myself who vote every single year. It's always important, now more so than ever. So I won't harp on it. I won't get into any political discussions with you. I just want to encourage you to please get out Tuesday and vote for your state elections. Beyond that, we have quite a bit of stuff going on here this week. A lot of D&D, including this game. Tyranny of Dragons on Tuesday, Giants on Wednesday, Fate's Game Night. He is continuing his Red Dead Redemption playthrough on Thursday. D&D Replay starts 8:30 in the morning on Friday, and then 9 p.m. Stealing Dragons returns for session 3. Entropy is next Sunday. And then plus whatever happens with 76 beta, whenever that becomes available, if it's something that I see and is something I can throw together for a quick stream, I'll definitely be doing that as well. Tonight was just kind of a laid back and easygoing night for us, so I'm kind of happy for that. Beyond that, that's everything I have. Let's check. Are you guys ready over here?
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's do it.
Alrighty, so it's been a little while, so we'll go ahead and recap what happened last time, and then we'll see what misadventures y'all can get up to now.
Oh boy.
Many is possible.
Alright, so last session. After preparing for the assault on the phylactery vault, you set off back from the gatehouse, back to the temples of extraction. As you arrived, you saw that the turbulence caused by you disabling several of these black gates was much more prominent here, with the gates here in the temples that you had teleported to. Not wanting to waste any more time, you made the magical connection with this black gate before you even could feel that it was pointing you to a new destination, one you could only assume was the vault. You entered the gate and arrived within a very strange room. This chamber seemed to be inside of a pyramid, but the walls all had stray rocks, pillars, and sepulchres clinging to them, some of them on the walls around you seeming to defy gravity. After some investigation, you decided to try and break into one of the sepulchres as you saw two doors on the front of them. As you did so, you found that the gargoyle engravings on the doors of these sepulchres were actually real, and they attacked you, as they do. You defeated them pretty quickly and made your way into this hallowed chamber within the sepulchre. Inside, you found, or sepulchre, I think I was saying it wrong before. Yeah. And now I've lost my place. Inside of it, you found trinkets and gothic items that you could only assume were the phylacteries of liches. As you tried to destroy them, however, you found that magic coursed through the entire sepulchre, protecting the phylacteries. With several attempts from Berwyn, you were able to disable the magic and prepare to start ridding the world of these vile items. However, before you could, a blood-curdling howl permeated through the entire chamber. You turned to see that in the middle of this room was a skull, radiating dark energy floating within it. The Demilich Khazit Gulkazi Ghoul had found you, and he didn't seem too happy. The battle was the hardest you'd ever faced. Within a few seconds, two of you had been knocked out from the dark energy from the Demilich's howl. You struggled to bring your allies back to fight while still trying to fight this creature at the same time. None of your attacks seemed to be able to damage it fully. The battle was grueling, to say the least, with all of you taking damage and being knocked out by its howl, or being frightened by it, or having the life stolen from you from its attacks. Eventually, however, you started to see cracks forming along the skull. As you did so, though, you saw that it was able to drain the life energy from you, and then it seemed to use that energy to heal itself, the cracks disappearing. You fought on, not deterred by this. Eventually, the damage you were doing finally outweighed what it could heal with its own attacks. Aelion, with the help of Markanor opening up a hole in the skull with a heavy attack with his hammer, was able to fire an extremely precise arrow directly into this hole, it bursting from the other side. Another scream filled the chamber as the skull turned to black ash, the diamonds that were set across its form falling to the ground below. You quickly set back to working to destroy these phylacteries, even though you were very weary from that fight. As you destroyed them, though, the entire chamber began to shake violently. You were all able to tell within moments that the magic that seemed to hold this place together was falling apart, and the chamber itself was also falling all around you. You quickly ran back to the black gate you entered through, and as rocks began to fall from the ceiling, from the wall right beside you, you saw an inky blackness sitting behind them, leading you to believe that you were in some kind of different space where this chamber resided, not on the material plane. But as the rocks were about to crush you, the black gate activated, and you found yourself teleported out and standing back in the gatehouse. Syranna once again met you, but this time in the flesh. She thanked you for what you had accomplished. A heavy blow had been dealt to the Lich Lord Szass Tam. With your help, the resistance in Thay would now be able to press forward in their attacks upon their demonic lord. With that, you were teleported back to a bit more familiar surroundings, to your keep, back in Blasingdell. You found the keep empty now, but that didn't concern you. You were tired and weary, and had seen Death's Door a little bit too much for most of you to be comfortable with, and you were just thankful to be alive. A year has passed since that day. You find yourselves all in the keep. I imagine a few of you have done maybe a little bit of traveling to go around and sell your wares and such to some of the bigger cities during this past year, but haven't done a whole lot of adventuring. Especially Markinor with his actual death experience and the rest of you with near-death experiences, decided to take a little time off, rest and recuperate, and expand upon your new lives here with this joint home that you've all come to call your own. In that time, we'll go over a little bit about what everybody's been doing. Start at the top here. Berwin, what have you spent the year doing?
Once I got back, I would like to. I picked up from where I left off with learning these new tools and whatnot that came with this fantastic druid grove that we got added. And then that took a little while. And then I went and found another druid and a sword master also, and continued working on my wolf sword play, and also trying to learn what it means to be a druid. Since I haven't really figured that out yet, I don't feel.
You don't say.
Also buying magical items or item.
Okay. So yeah, Berwin's been hard at work doing druid things and not so druid things, learning how to use a sword. But that's his thing. It's fine. He's a little odd. Aelion, what have you spent the last year doing?
Well, spent a few weeks resting, recuperating. Then spent more time with my sister, training, doing a lot of training, trying to learn how to better use the weapons of my people, specifically the longsword and the bow. Getting better at it, and able to strike with more precision and more agility than just brute strength. Refining my dance of death. And then two was looking for some better armor. The stuff that I've been using has been well used.
Seen its fair share of battles up to this point. All right, so training, increasing martial prowess, rather. Your sister wasn't able to teach you a whole lot when it came to combat. You know that she favored more working alongside her companions, her animal compatriots and everything, but she was able to give you things that you were never able to really learn before your plan, unfortunately, was dispersed and you came to this plane. But with that, Kaylin, what have you been up to?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Kaylin disappeared for a year.
Pretty much. Kaylin's been, trying to find a person to help train her to be better, both as a caster and a fighter. Because she spent way too much time in close combat, where she didn't want to be. And then last set of battles, So she's looking for ways to be better at both holding her concentration on her spells while fighting, and just be, better at fighting in general.
Okay. So more training for combat and such, knowing that even with the battle with a demi-lich was not enough to deter y'all from wanting to continue on with adventuring. I decided to try to get better at it before new work came in. And finally, Markador. What have you been doing?
Markador has mostly spent his time around Blasingdell, attempting to stay in tune with Tyr as much as he can within the sanctuary that he's built here, and at the same time attempting to spread the word as best he can. He doesn't feel that him leaving Blasingdell would help, so he did send the other member of the clergy out to kind of spread the word a bit and give him time alone within the temple itself. He'd perform rituals and things of that nature for people at very modest rates, just looking to, again, be kind to the people that are within this town or city that they're in. In his downtime, however, he would focus on his combat prowess a bit, feeling that there should have been more that he could have done to not just protect himself but everyone else. Spent quite a bit of extra time working on that. And as such, he also spent time and gold to build a study of sorts, a library that was attached to the side of the building, allowing the party the opportunity to do research before heading out into unknown dangers that might lie before them.
Yeah, all right. And with that, we can kind of see a library down here now. Totally wasn't planned or anything. All right, so you've all made your way back here. Once again, Mark and Nora being here for the most part, but you found yourself after a year wanting to meet up back with the group again, finding this place relatively well maintained, keeping a decent watch over it, and the villagers here in this large village of Blasingdell always able to take care of it in your absence, as agreed upon by the Duke? No, it wasn't a Duke. It was
a Duke, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah, that's forever ago.
Yeah.
The mayor, Sir Miles Barrick, though, make sure that the place is taken care of in your absence and such. So you've come back and it's been, well done. You haven't met anybody that you've been waiting for. No work has come in, no other jobs from the fort or anything like that. But you decide to meet back up together here in the keep and find yourself in it now. As you're all sitting around kind of talking about the things that you've done over this past year, kind of all having the same, strange pull to want to take another job, see about if anybody else needs help or if there's any more wonders to discover. You're all sitting around talking about that, and about time you hear dun dun dun, a knocking on your front door.
Mark and Earl walk over to the door and kind of just slowly pull it open and see who's on the other side.
So as you open the door, you see a man dressed somewhat finely, red velvet kind of making up this cape on his back. Though you do see the leather armor that he's wearing, as well as the cape and such, are all kind of road-worn and dusty. You see a well-maintained stallion sitting behind him, just grazing on the grass here on the side of the road. He's holding a helmet in his right arm. In his left hand, he's holding a parchment. As you open the door, he bows his head to you and says, "I was sent here to seek out some adventurers. My employers have a proposition for you.
And who might your employers be?
That he starts thinking, there are a few of them. Collectively, they are some of the more prominent lords and ladies of the Sword Coast. They have gathered for a strange string of incidents that has been occurring lately, and they want your insight on it, and possibly, and he kind of looks down at the armor and such that you're already wearing, maybe some more help with it as well.
From the back there, Faerun will say, Markinor, who is it?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch her name.
With that, he steps back and does a formal bow for you as best he can with his arm kind of holding his helmet and such. Says, I apologize, my friends. My name is Sir Brandon. I am a knight for one Countess Leona that resides on the Sword Coast. She has sent me here with a missive for you.
Very well. Look back over in the direction of Berwin and say, Sir Brandon, it seems. He has a message for us, and kind of open the door a bit and allow him into the chambers.
So as you do so, he walks in, kind of knocking the dust off his boots and such as he does so, not wanting to track it in, looks around and kind of nods at the establishment and moves in, kind of greeting you all with nods and such. With that, he sets his helmet down on a table next to him and pulls out the scroll tube that he was holding in his other hand and undoes it, and he pulls out a scroll and kind of holds it out in front of him and begins reading. He says, to whom it may concern, we request your assistance for a giant of a problem that we are incurring. Please come to Neverwinter post-haste. Sir Brandon will lead you where you need to go. And with that, he rolls the parchment back up and looks to the rest of you and says, I do not have much information. I'm not one of the lords and ladies, unfortunately, but I feel that they would not be seeking out adventurers such as yourselves if the problem was not dire.
I would imagine not, considering they have people like you.
As you say that, he kind of smiles at you and nods. He says, I am but a humble knight for my lady. I am not an adventurer, and I'm sure that any of you could best me in a fight, and I think that what they have to offer you or to ask of you will require a bit of fighting.
This this giant of a problem. Why use that word? Is it actually giants, or is it there anything to be inferred from that?
With that, he nods with a bit of a chuckle. He says, well, while the wordplay may be there, there is a giant problem here on the Sword Coast, unfortunately. You may not have heard about it, but he kind of motions around him, being out here a little bit to the east, but along the Sword Coast, and especially to the north of Neverwinter, there have been a string of giant attacks recently. And, he kind of shrugs and leans back on the table. Giants, they attack, they raid small villages and such. It's a common occurrence, albeit a dreadful one, but these have been different as of late. You see, and he starts thinking, unfortunately, these giants are not just from one clan of giants. They are not just hill giants or frost giants or anything, frost giants, or anything of that nature working together to raid and pillage. They are working together through the other clan. This has never been seen before.
Interesting.
The giants are working together. But for what means?
I don't know.
As you say that, Markinor, Sir Brandon stands up and kind of points the scroll tube towards you. That is what we're trying to figure out, and I think you may be employed to see if you can find an answer to that question. Unfortunately, up to this point, details are scarce. We just know that The giants attack and retreat, but there are not just one clan there. There are fire giants intermingling with hill giants, and cloud giants have been seen in the groups as well. It's very frightening. Giants typically keep to themselves, but for them to be organized and essentially waging war on the Sword Coast, he says that he kind of opens his hands up towards you. You can see why the nobility of the Sword Coast has come together and is looking for a group with such skills as yours to assist with this problem.
Yes.
What knowledge would my character have of the ordning and basically the class system within the giants?
Give me a history check.
I got nothing.
I mean, it's very well. Okay, so if I do this, I actually, before I would try to understand it, could I get advantage on that if I use information out of the library?
Sure, 100%. Yeah, get an advantage on it.
Cool.
Use your resources. Nice.
Oh,
Ooh.
So with the 15, you know that the ordning exists, and you've heard and read about more so kind of theory and practice and such. Very straightforward logic that accompanies it. That the giants follow a class system of the races, the different types of giants stick together, and they have their clans. There's typically not a lot of infighting between the giants, but there is an understanding that certain giants are lower on the pecking order than others. Hill giants being lower than fire giant, for instance. No, even a hill giant chief ranks lower than a steward of a fire giant or somebody that cleans the pots. Just because of how they were born, essentially, or what they were born as, they are inherently ranked higher. That being said, you know that it is, just as Sir Brandon said, it's very strange for giants to be working together, as that is not something that happens. It's beneath fire giants to work with hill giants.
Mm-hmm.
It's beneath the other ones to work with the lesser classes. And for them to be working together and to be doing such to attack places, attack the civilized world, is very concerning.
So after doing a little bit of research and kind of, remembering that I've kind of read or seen something of this, I pass the word along and kind of look over to the others and say, I suppose we're back on the road again.
That's fine with me.
No place I'd rather be. Starting to get a little phobic here.
Whatever.
So yeah, turn to Sir Brandon and say, very well, give us just a little time to prepare ourselves for the journey, and you're welcome to make yourself at home here as we prepare.
With that, Sir Brandon nods to you and takes a seat at one of the tables, kind of lounging back a bit, resting his back and his muscles from obviously riding a very long way. As you know, Neverwinter is a good journey from where you are now. But with that, he nods to you and says, very well, I'd say take as much time as you need, but we are a bit out of schedule, but of course I am not going to rush you. But whenever you're ready, I will set off with you to Neverwinter, and when we arrive, I will take you to go meet this conglomerate of nobles.
Question, what time of day would it be?
Right now, it's midday, just after lunchtime.
And how long does it take to ride to Neverwinter?
Days, weeks.
Yeah.
Days?
Yeah, it's going to be
At
several
least.
days.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full map. Pull it up.
Because I don't quite remember where the little town is.
Oh, I don't have my map anymore. I'm sad about it.
I still have a.
I have the one on my computer. I just don't have the the handout that I had on here. That was in the other game.
Mm-hmm.
So Blasingdell.
Oh,
if you go north-
Blasingdell, right? That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. So
That's-
Blasingdell.
That's way up north.
Yeah, it's up
somewhere.
north.
By
If
the
you
spine of the
find,
world.
yeah,
Okay.
if you find Neverwinter, go northeast of that, and you're kind of under, if I remember correctly, yeah, you're under the Lurkwood, over in that area.
Okay.
So yeah, you've got
Ways.
Yeah,
over
we're
a
up
week.
we're close to Marabar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something like that.
Yeah, actually, I think you're
Now
right.
that-
Yeah, you're
Now that I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's about the area. It's something close to Marabar.
Yeah, it'll take you a little over a week to get down there.
Okay. Do we want to leave today, or do we want to leave first thing in the morning?
Morning would be fine, I suppose. I don't see any harm in waiting for early morning.
That wouldn't throw off your schedule, would it? Sir
Brandon.
Brandon.
As you ask him, he shrugs. He says, "I was told to bring you as quickly as possible, but if you feel the need to wait the rest of the day and leave in the morning, that is your choice."
I'm fine either way.
I'd say more daytime travel than any would be better. If we can wait until morning time, that gives us plenty of time to prepare, and we can make our journey then.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else y'all want to do to prep through the rest of the day, or?
No.
Yeah, I can't.
Kalen's literally just sitting in a corner making little mice with prestidigitation and playing with the.
I can't think of anything that I need to do. No.
Oh, wait. Hold on, guys. Y'all stay here. Berwin will run up to his room, open a little chest, and grab 6 little bottles in his arms and come running back down. I've been meaning to give these to y'all, but I haven't really had a chance. Here, each of y'all have 2. They're minor healing potions that I've made over the year from the Druid Grove, amongst other. I've made other stuff also, but have pretty much given all of the other stuff away to townspeople in need and whatnot. But I held on to 6 of the health potions for y'all.
Awesome.
Growing health potions. Who needs to go buy them?
Potions.
Sprouting bottles out of the ground.
I
Alrighty.
figured that wouldn't be an issue since I get like 3 chances a day over.
Yeah, that seems fair and balanced to me. So, alrighty. So, with that, Sir Brandon acquiesces to you wanting to wait for the rest of the day, agreeing that traveling with a full day's light is better. But with that, you begin preparing and such. You're breaking out all your adventuring gear and all that fun stuff, and grabbing what you can from the keep here in Blasingdell. You know you have a bit of a trip ahead of you, and even beyond that, you don't know exactly where you may be going afterwards. So, but the day passes, of course, without incident. Sir Brandon takes a load off for the rest of the day, enjoys some of the ale that you keep here. Seems like a nice guy. Kind of jovial, just sees the night business as a job more than anything else. There is still honor and everything in it, but he's doing it so he can, get paid and hang out with royalty, essentially. But the day goes on, and you find yourselves the next morning setting off towards Neverwinter. Travel montage. You all travel for a week and a half as you make your way towards there. don't find anything along the way. It's very boring. Tell stories with each other and keeps coming back to you. Remember that time we fought a Demilich and we won? That was cool.
Remember that time Markinor died on us?
Yeah, we don't speak about that very much.
Still sore about it. Even
Remember that time, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so as you find yourselves, and I'll just kind of help you for right now. You find yourselves arriving at Neverwinter, this large, sprawling city before you. You see, isn't as magnificent as you thought it may be. Even though you've been to it, a few of you have gone here before. You can see that construction is still going on. This entire city. Hello, music.
Hello, music.
Stop all. There we go. This entire city is being rebuilt after it was destroyed quite a few years back from the current time. But you know that local lore and everything around the Sword Coast is that one Lord Neverember is reconstructing Neverwinter to try to restore itself to its former glory. It's a slow process. It's a very large city. But it is going on. You do see new stone buildings being constructed. It looks like another few keeps have come up since the last time you visited. But as you enter into the city, moving through it, Sir Brandon takes you over to what appears to be a large manse that he takes you to. It's about 4 stories tall. It's in a very nice part of town. Not a whole lot of mud roads and such through here like when you entered into Neverwinter. It seems to be the more prominent district. And as you make your way in, he escorts you inside until you has you wait in the main parlor and such until he retrieves you a few minutes later, saying, "Yeah, they are ready for you. They've already gathered. If you'll come with me." And with that, he leads you upstairs, and you find yourself in a large kind of meeting hall. It could probably double as a dining hall and such, but they have chairs set up around tables for you all to talk, and you see a bunch of people in here, 20 or 30 people, all of them dressed very finely. Velvets and silks and guards about. You see other knights like Sir Brandon watching the room kind of from the walls and such. You hear a little bickering going on here and there, some heated conversations, but you kind of expect it coming from nobles and people that serve as politicians and such. So as you're moving in, you see one man kind of crying out above the murmur of the crowd in front of you as you're entering into the room. "This is unheard of. Giants never work together with other tribes. It goes against the ordering." As you all sit down, patiently, and you listen as these numerous lords and ladies and kings and other full of themselves leaders of the Sword Coast complained about their steadings and villages being attacked by this unheard of alliance of giants that you've been summoned to look into. You've sat around mostly quietly up to this point after about an hour of just bickering and nothing really going forward, but you've all gotten the basic gist of what is going on. But finally, after an hour of complaints, the cleric, Markinor, that had been summoned wearing all the livery of his god tier, stands up from the group. As you do so, Markinor, you see the room, as you look around at your gaze, just kind of commanding silence from this group of nobles. You see they all begin to silence as they kind of look over you, trying to figure out what's going on. With that, taking a little liberty from Markinor, but for reasons. Markinor says, "There's obviously something driving these creatures to work together. This will be our top priority on this mission, if we choose to accept it. To find out who is organizing these giants to work together to become a far more menacing force than they ever could be on their own." As you say this, the group of nobles begin looking at one another, no one wanting to be the first to break the silence, until you see the man sitting at the head of the table, one that you had heard the name of, when Lord Voldemort, nodded and spoke in a calm voice. "That seems like the best course of action. If you would like to take this job for us. Go out and with that he pulls and shoves the map that they were all kind of scrutinizing over together at that end of the table. He pushes it out towards you. Says, go out and follow the map we have provided. Stop these giants from attacking any more of the ones who've trusted us with their lives. Also, find out who or what is causing them to work together. Report back to us immediately when you find out who or what is causing these attacks. As you all look at the map that you've just been pushed towards you, you all kind of glanced out at. You see a map as a pathway marked onto it, leading to some plains just south of the spine of the world to the north. During the conversation, you were told that a fortress that has some hill giants were using as a base of operations to attack from lied there, and you see an X with a steading written across it.
All right. Take the map and look back at the others, and just kind of shake my head and say, we're not really being given much information for this, and we're gonna just have to do what we do best and wing it, I suppose.
Better than listening to them talk.
Isn't winging it what we always do, though?
Pretty much, yes. Kind of look around. I'm assuming they're pretty much done at this point. Like, they're just discussing random things or arguing and bickering again.
Yeah, you see that the conversation, they haven't necessarily dismissed you, but they've already moved on to start talking amongst themselves. The whole feeling you've gotten from this group is that it's a bunch of hoity-toity nobles that, yeah, they're trying to stop something, but it might be for reasons that aren't as noble, such as, hey, if they're all dead, we don't get our tax dollars.
Alien's already inching towards the door. He wants so bad. He hates this place.
Yeah, let's get out of here. And kind of motion for the others and start making our way to the door.
All right. So as you make your way back out into the city, you weren't given really a timetable and such. You've been given a map and told essentially what to do. You know, seek out these giants, figure out what's going on, what's causing them to work together. But you have your starting point, your lead, to go here. And we'll even say that during the conversation, it was brought up that some people have already been sent there to investigate what was going on, but none of them have come back alive. Unfortunately, tangoing with giants is not something normal adventurers are able to take care of. Ones with renown, ones that have grown in power and strength are required for this job, which is why you were sought out. But you make your way out of the manse that you were in, out into the city before you.
Yes.
And you find yourself once again in the sprawling city of Neverwinter. You know, this place, as far as the hierarchy of cities go on the Sword Coast, probably ranks third, even in its current state, I suppose, with it being in rebuilding and such. But it's still a very large city with a lot to offer as for adventurers, especially ones with coins such as yourselves. So basically that is saying that if you would like to go look around and see if you could find anything to purchase, mundane items, potions, whatever your heart may desire, maybe even some magic items maybe in the markets, you're able to do so now.
Markinor's just going to head towards the Hall of Justice and spend some time there. I believe did we agree on the magic item that I had mentioned to you? Is that taken care of, or will I need to go and get that here?
You will have to remind me of what it was.
Okay.
I think it was cool, but I can't remember. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I already have that.
Yes, you already have that.
Okay. Then aside from that, I would like to probably pick up another few potions of healing and in any variety that might be available to us.
Okay. Roll me a D100.
Okay. Using the new table. Oh wait, I can't. Hold on.
No D100 on that one.
What? Advanced dice roller.
Yep.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Let me make sure I get my rarities right. So as you're making your way through the city, looking around for shops, you find a somewhat sprawling market district here. All sorts of different shops and forges for smithies and taverns and such all lie all around you in this kind of very large open area towards the middle of the city. One of the shops that you see, you find a few apothecaries, but you do find one that is kind of large and looks to be a little bit nicer than some of the others, so you go ahead and visit that one first. You find a small halfling is running this place. Lots of plants and such all over the place that obviously he's using to grow and make these potions and vats and oils and all this other stuff that he has for sale. But potions of healing, he agrees that, yeah, he has them. They're probably the best-selling item that you're going to find. Adventurers always getting themselves hurt. But with that, he shows his store. He has 10 regular potions of healing on stock. And he has... Damn it. 9 greater healing potions as well.
Just book value on the potions.
The regular potions, yeah, will be the 50 or 100. I think it's 100.
I think it's 50 for basic and 100.
I know the graders go up a bunch. Yeah, they're uncommon.
Let's look.
I had a list for this and I lost it. There it is. Okay. Potion of healing will be 50. Potion of greater healing will be 100. And higher than that, it starts climbing exponentially. 500 for a superior and 1350 for a supreme.
Okay. So 100 each on the greater. So I'll go ahead and gather them. I have the gold for it, so
Okay.
So that would be 10 platinum, right? Or 100 platinum. 100 platinum. Well,
yes. For 900 gold will be 90 platinum.
90 platinum.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll add those in here.
Okay. What's everybody else looking for, if anything?
Still keep my eye out for any kind of armors that would be of better use to me.
There was
Weapons.
a few. Yeah, there was some armor and weapon shops out in the middle, kind of in a forge area of the market. So you could venture out to there.
I'm also going to take an additional 4 of the basic potions of healing as well.
Okay. So, Aelion, as you're shopping around, you find 4 or 5 different armors, as well as 2 or 3 weaponsmiths. All of them having basically everything you could ask for. All the different kind of armor running at the going rates. You do see one Duragar is actually working here. You see that his forge and such is actually covered over by this huge tarp. Or tan canvas rather, that covers it up, making it look like a tent, but has holes through it for the forged billows to blow out of. But as he's working on stuff, you see that some of his items do have a bit of a shimmer to them, seeming to be probably magical.
I would like to follow Aelion in this endeavor.
I'll stop at the dwarf's tent first.
Okay.
I guess see if he has any maybe like some daggers or something. Maybe if he has any like leather armors. I'm sure he's probably just mostly working with metal.
You don't find any straight leather here, but you do see that he does have studded leather, a few sets of that.
Any of the magical variety?
Right.
He has one that seems to be radiating some magic that's hanging up on the wall. It seems to have a glimmer to it.
That'll catch my eye. I'll kind of go up and take a look at it. Ask him how much he would like for it.
Okay.
Ask him what it does also.
That too, yeah.
I'll let you have first
I'll
shot at these.
Didn't work.
You do. So as you walk up to this studded leather armor, it seems to be expertly crafted. The one thing that kind of sets it off and drew your eye mostly is that not only the armor itself, this leather, but also the studs have been painted this kind of very deep black. But you see that the glint of the metal kind of shines a bit purple through it, kind of introducing this bit of interesting coloration to it. As you walk up to it and ask the Duragar, who had stopped working at the forge as you all entered and was kind of just watching you to see if you were looking to buy anything, as you ask him what it is, and how much for it, he says that it's been reinforced with some magic from a friend of his to make it able to take up to, attacks a lot better than a mundane would be able to. Essentially describing a +1 set of studded leather.
And then the next logical question of the price.
The price, well, that is a thing he's going to roll for. Oof. He says it's going to be, he thinks for a moment. He says usually charge a little bit more, but since you asked so nicely, he says, I'll charge you 2,500 gold for it.
Done. Take it.
I'm gonna send you a clip real quick, Havoc. It's all of our stuff that I have that I'm gonna try to sell.
Okay.
Then so after that, I'll ask him about his friend who reinforced it. Maybe he has a shop around here somewhere.
With that, he nods. Says, yes, he does. Okay. All right. He does say he has a shop. There's a magic item shop that he actually runs on the far side. It's in a bit darker, kind of shadier alley off of the market district proper. But he vouches for him. This Duragar vouches for this guy. Says, yeah, he's good people. He'll take care of you as long as you have coin.
I am gonna sell all of the random jewelry and stuff. Nobody spoke up saying they wanted any of it, so everybody will get an additional 400 gold out of all of that stuff.
Awesome. That doesn't include any of the diamonds or...
No, this is like
right?
jades and a ruby ring.
Okay.
But it's like earrings.
It doesn't include any of the raw gems.
No, it's not raw gems, no. Nope, it's all just jewelry.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, everybody
we
gets
took a lot of jewelry.
Everybody gets 500 gold on that.
We do best. Steal jewelry.
Wait, did you say 500 or 400?
Yeah, 500. It's 2,000 total, so it's 500 each.
Nice.
And were there any like daggers that caught my eye?
There are a few, yeah. You don't see any magical ones, unfortunately, but there are a lot of mundane ones here.
do a little fancy handwork, put them back. Thank him, and then we'll walk out, I guess.
All right. +1 studded
Yep.
leather armor and 2,500 less.
What do you watch? No, Charles. The aquarium?
I'll say, yeah, we'll take that offer on all three of those.
Okay.
That leaves us just the one bracelet that's going to be probably really hard for us to sell.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find a buyer for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Which bracelet was it?
The bracelet of rock magic.
Oh yeah.
That was worth like 11,000 gold.
Time to go to the magic shop.
Mm-hmm.
We do have this kind of tell Mark about this guy we just heard about. Somebody might.
see if he'll just straight trade us like 4 lesser items for it.
So yeah, you're told about the shop of an elf.
Oh.
Do name generator? Let's go. The shop belongs to one Malin Trisfera.
Got it.
Selling the plate armors and a scroll of dark vision, everybody will get 1,438 gold.
Can I have that in platinum for the most
You
part?
can. You're in a city. You can get it in platinum.
You're in Twitter, yeah. You can go to a
1,400, you said?
1,400.
That would be 1,400 even, or
No.
58 was odd, right?
1,438. That was what it was. So
140 flat.
yeah, 140 platinum and 338 gold.
Jeez.
I'm giving you guys a couple of gold pieces to even it out, so it's fine. Or adding a gold piece in there.
Not
to even it out.
1,900 flat.
You're not that rich.
Whoa.
I mean, I am. I just don't have it on me.
All right, so what's mine? Heading to the magic shop, or y'all want to look for anything else beforehand?
Magic shop.
Yeah, magic shop's fine.
All right. So as you make your way following the instructions of that Durgan armorer that you met, you kind of head to the back side of the market, and you see an alley moving down. And whereas everything in this area is kind of grimy and such, it seems to kind of be the normal state of Neverwinter. Even the nice areas are kind of grimy. This place, the cobblestone street doesn't exist. It's a dirt, kind of muddy street ahead of you. But towards the end of this alley, you see over to the left what appears to be a lantern burning in front of a shop. And as you approach it, you see no sign or anything on the shop. You just see what appears to be a wand with magic radiating from the tip engraved onto a wood sign on front of it. But no words or anything like that.
Sorry, I'm doing some organization here.
I feel like this is our shop. He said it was in a kind of a offbeat part of town.
All right.
Shall we go in?
Yeah, if you believe this is it, and I'll kind of knock on the door before just intruding.
Okay. So as you knock on the door actually starts creaking open, as it was already hanging off the latch a bit. And as the door starts creaking open, you see kind of darkness inside of it. You don't see any candles or anything burning.
Good thing we all have
'Cause
dark vision.
Yeah, that's such an issue for us.
Can't see anything.
Hey, this guy's an elf also. Maybe it's intentional.
Just kind of slink into the shadows.
So as you all start moving into this room, it being very dark, hard for even those with dark vision to see inside of it. You all start moving into the the room beyond it. And as you take a few steps in, the chamber immediately flares up with light. You see candles lighting themselves all around you. And as you start looking around, it's a bit of an odd sight you see. You see the workings of a shop, but you see rows and rows of shelves with slots in the middle of them, kind of making this series of squares all the way down it. And inside of them, you see scrolls and different items sitting there kind of on display. Things like skulls and bottled fluid of some kind, some like red and purple and violet. You see some of them that seem to be like sparking inside the bottle. You see on the walls different items, a few weapons and such. You see a rack on the wall that seems to have a bunch of small wooden rods on them, as well as wands sitting next to them. And as you all moving to the room, you see a man walking out from the back as he does so, wearing a big grin on his face. He says, "Hello! Welcome to my little shop. I am Melon. Please, come in, come in. What is it I can do for you today?"
Hello, Malone. We're actually here because I have this item I'm looking to get rid of. It's not something that would be of use to us.
Oh, of course, I do buy items of interesting origin, of course, if it intrigues me. May I see it, please?
I'm gonna reach down into the bag of holding and pull out the bracelet of rock magic.
All right. So as you hand it over to him, you see him looking at it, and he tilts it over, and those of you that use magic pretty regularly are able to see his eyes start to glow a bit with arcane energy as he's either detecting magic or identifying this object. And as he does so, he tilts it over, and his eyes kind of go wide. He says, "Oh my! You know what this does? Yes."
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, my friends and I do not believe that it would be very beneficial to us at this time.
With that, he nods. He says, I could think of, I could find a way to use this or find someone that could. Yes, I'm very interested. This is a remarkable artifact you found." Daddy looks around and he kind of sets this bracelet down a bit gingerly on the table, and he turns around, and as he's bending over, he rummages and he kind of grunts with effort. He says, and brings up this chest and sets it down on top of the counter in front of him. And as he does so, he kind of wipes a bit of sweat from his brow and then reaches around and unhooks it. You just see a mountain of gold inside this chest. He says, I only have 10,000 on me currently. Would that suffice?"
That's very, very generous of you. I don't see why we would ever say no to this offer.
With that, he chuckles. He says, "Well, there are some people out there that would pay much more for this, I think, with its properties it has on it. I think it could be used in certain ways, but of course, you wouldn't have to worry about that. It would go where it needed to go. You would just need to purchase it here for this price."
Kind of look back over to the others and kind of wait to see what they think.
How about a trade? Is there anything in your shop here that might be that might potentially be useful to us, you think?
Oops. Well, let me see. Let me think for a moment. I don't know if anybody would want that. Hmm. As the DM frantically starts rolling behind the scenes, trying to find something. There's some neat stuff in this category. Big, if you can go, are you still on the old server, the old Discord?
I don't think I am.
Yeah, I am. I'm still there.
Okay. Look at the pin message. Pull up the things to do in downtime. I think that have prices in there.
Yeah, I'll just pay the premium for it.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to pay that much, then it's gonna 100% be good.
I think for 2 in that time frame, I think that's fair.
Yeah, that works for me.
Cool.
Oh, it is still pinned there.
Yeah, that's why I never left that one. I'm just like, there's some stuff in there that we might lose.
Yeah,
That's
there's
fine.
some nice things that are pinned.
Okay, back to what I was looking at. Let's see.
You
So I
can
do
always,
have some.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do have some.
It's-
I have some interesting items here and there. I do have a lot of potions. He kind of moves over to a wall where these square-shaped boxes are kind of inlaid in these shelves, and there's lots of potions and stuff through it. Has that many useful potions that could be used for whatever you need. If you're looking for love, for instance. If you're looking to not be seen for a while, I have a little bit of everything. What is it that you're looking for? Anything in particular?
Guys,
I'm kind of tapped out on attunements. But as for potions, yeah, I don't think a potion of invisibility would hurt at all.
we have a spell scroll of invisibility. Just so you guys are aware, everything that I was holding on
I
to
can't use it.
Oh.
I can.
Everything.
And I also still have invisibility.
Everything that I've been holding on to for us in the house, I went ahead and threw in the bag of holding because there's not much in there right now.
Because you can.
Because I can, pretty much, yeah.
And you just emptied a lot of space also.
Mm-hmm. So.
So as he looks around the group, not really getting any suggestions, he thinks for a moment.
Oh, I did want to see if he had some magical daggers.
Magical daggers. He says, yes, I have a few enchanted ones. He rummages around behind him, opening up another large chest and pulls out 2 daggers. He says, these came in a set when I procured them from a bit of a shifty fellow, but seemed nice enough. He said he didn't need them anymore for whatever reason, but I've heard they're quite good at their job of being able to handle any situations they were brought into. I'm sure you get the gist of that information, but yes, they're very fine, enchanted with some decent magic. Pretty powerful, actually.
Any kind of bows as well?
Just to clarify, they aren't cursed, right?
Yes, that's definitely the last thing we need to say.
I know that's the question that everybody else wants to ask.
As you ask that,
Yeah, that is definitely the question we want to ask.
As you ask that, he chuckles and kind of eyes over at the bracelet. He says, No, they're not cursed. They are simply enchanted, just making them more powerful, more able to strike your foes, even if you are not able to. He essentially describes +2 daggers.
That would be what I want.
Hot damn.
He says, as he's setting those kind of on the table, he thinks for a moment. He says, I still do not feel I am a businessman, but I try to think I'm a mostly honest one when it comes to trades. He turns around, looking around a bit. Trying to make sure I don't break y'all. With that, he searches and he turns. He says, I have just the thing. And he walks over to the potion shelf. He looks around for a second. And he says, this one. And he pulls out this potion that's yellow in coloration. But you see that it's streaked with like these black lines that swirl around by itself, just inside the bottle without him shaking or moving it. And he sets it down. He says, This potion will grant you great speed. For the one that drinks it, it'll last not very long, only about a minute, but I'm sure persons such as yourselves could find a use for it. As he describes a potion of speed.
Oh shit.
Essentially, you get the effect of haste for 1 minute.
Oh.
Interesting.
Do you happen to have any armor, perchance? Probably a bit of a long shot, but
With that, he says, "No, I typically don't keep armor. I have a friend in the market district that I take any armor that I obtain for a nominal fee that he pays me. It's a working relationship. He brings me work, and I give him some items I procure, but I don't keep armor."
Do you keep any kind of longbows?
With that, he says, "I don't have any longbows currently, but," and he turns around. You see back behind him, there's like this drape that he pulls back, and as he does so, you see a further broom kind of entrenched in black, but he disappears into it for a moment, coming back out, and he's holding a large quiver. Seems to have probably about 30 arrows. It's a bit bigger than a normal one that holds around 20. He says, "This ammunition here, these arrows, they've been imbued with some powerful enforcement magic. They fly truer and they hit a bit harder, as long as you're able to hit the target. I may help. I do not have any bows, but if you have one yourself, it'll work just fine to sling these out."
As I look around his shop, do I see anything that resembles like cloaks, or are there any kind of just weird looking, kind of just odd magical items, just things that I've never really seen before?
There are a lot of them that are ones that you've never seen before. I absolutely hate that fucking... Every time I click to search in D&D Beyond, it's pulling up an autofill form, and it covers up when I try to click on the rarity or whatever.
Oh no.
It's super annoying. Okay, there we go. You see... you see a cloak sitting over to the side, dark black in its coloration, that seems to be very weird. As you look at it, it almost seems like it moves with your eyes, and you see two cloaks, and then it goes back away, and you only see the one there again. As you try to focus on it again, it seems like there's almost two of them sitting side by side. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Jam session.
I might actually be interested in that.
As you're kind of eyeing it and everything, Malon looks over you and says, "Ah, the Cloak of Displacement has taken your eye, huh? It's cost me a pretty penny to acquire it, but it was such a interesting item. I've, of course, studied it up till now and been able to possibly replicate the effects of it, so I don't need that one anymore. I'd be willing to part with it."
I very well might be interested in it. I'd look over at the others and say, what all have we decided on here?
Essentially, he's offering this quiver of arrows, the 2 daggers, and and the potion, yeah, and the potion of speed. He's offering that in trade for the rock blade bracelet.
Okay, and the cloak is separate.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And how much would he want for that? I mean, just throw a number at me, I guess.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Does he have a potion of strength? Of like, what? They're what? Giant? Wait, do we have one of those?
I have a hill giant one already.
Does he have one bigger than Hill Giant? Hashtag feed it to the wolf.
Oh God, that sounds like a terrifying wolf.
It sounds like a great idea.
All right, so for Markinor, he says, once again, I've already studied it, so I don't really need it. It's not as interesting as it once was. I'd be willing to part with it for, I'll say, 1,100 gold.
And go through my bag and pull out 110 platinum and place it on the table.
Okay.
I will definitely take that.
Yeah, fortuitous rolls for you.
A 99 on a D1000.
Mm-hmm. Can I just drag and drop these? I don't think I can. Maybe I can. Did it work? It did. Yay! Makes my life so much easier. Alright, so I'll edit this and give it to you.
Okay.
And you know what it is. It does require attunement. Keep that in mind.
Yep. And I had one attunement spot, so.
So once again, he's got these items for trade for the rock bracelet because he seems very interested in it. He listens to to Berwyn's request rather about that. He says, I haven't gotten any essence of any giants recently, but I do have one. And he turns around, and as he does so, he pulls out this potion that has what appears to be a sliver of a fingernail, but it's almost white in its coloration. He says, I was able to procure some years ago the fingernail of a frost giant, and was able to work out how to make this to steal some of its essence in this potion here.
Ooh. You know exactly what it does?
With that, he nods with a bit of a sly smile. He says, of course I do. I know what he kind of motions around the room. I know what everything in here does. This one will imbue you with a great amount of strength, borrowed or taken, stolen, whatever you want to say, from this poor frost giant that fingernail resides in here now. I could part with it for, say, 1,500 gold.
Okay. I pull out 150 platinum and give it to him.
Okay. Let's go through these items real quick. Well, we should already have a potion of giant strength in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We do.
The hill giant, though.
Yeah.
You
But
just have to look it up.
Yeah, giant strength.
Oh, and I'm actually holding the potion of hill
All right,
giant.
okay, yeah, so you can see what it does then. Raise your strength to 23 for 1 hour. Giving you a +6? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else anybody's looking for?
I'm all set. Anybody else?
No.
I'm good.
No. All right. So with that, he offers, out the items that you're willing to pay gold for, and then he offers 2 +2 daggers, a potion of haste, and a quiver with 30 +2 arrows in it.
Plus, ooh, Aelion.
Ooh, yeah. Would there
keep
be
them.
any way to... They're like imbued with magic.
Yes, they are basically reinforced with magic to make them fly truer, hit a little bit harder. And all he asks is that you don't ask any questions about how he gets stuff or who he sells it to.
Well,
We
at least
may
you got
come back here
fish.
with some resources for you then.
Oh, if you find any interesting items, such as this lovely bracelet you brought me, please bring them to me. I love finding and investigating items such as these.
What about potion component? What sort of stuff do you look for in that?
With that, he kind of shrugs. Anything rare, hard to get, and such. And, I'm the type of man who doesn't ask questions about whatever you bring me. If it's something I can use, then I'm sure we could work out a deal for it.
He's not creepy at all, is he, guys? Alright, I guess that's it. Everybody good?
Yes.
Seems like it. Going once.
Seems like it.
Going twice. Sold. All right. So, Aelion, I'm assuming, is taking the quiver. Kaylin says she wanted the daggers. And whoever wants the potion of haste, go ahead and add that to your inventory.
Yeah, who's
As well as
taking
gold
the
and
potion
such.
of haste?
I will let one of y'all take that potion.
I can just throw it in the bag if you want.
Yeah, I figured that could go to either you or Aelion, most likely.
Yeah. Would,
Especially
either
now
one
that
of us
I,
would benefit.
especially now that I have extra attack.
Nah, we're just gonna give it to the wolf and juice him.
I
Oh
need
my
either
God.
Aelion or the wolf making 1,400 attacks per turn. Plus, now Mark
Or
Moore's
give
gonna
it
be
to an
throwing out
earth
multiple-
elemental.
Ugh.
Okay,
Haste.
so if I'm under the effect of haste and then I use
You essentially get one
action
extra
surge.
attack.
So
You
can I
all-
basically with action surge can I take 3 actions in a turn?
You would,
Yes,
Oh,
yes. Although
you would
the
take.
third action would be a hasted action, which does not benefit from like multi-attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only one attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
you can still like disengage and dash and other things with it
Yeah.
still.
Well, haste does give you a +2 AC.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, there's also that.
AC will be par with market.
Ooh, I want boots of haste now.
Wow.
So-
My.
Oh my-
That's why I wanted that. When he mentioned what kind of cloak that was, I was like, "Oh, yes, I will take that," because it gives, basically, makes it so when somebody,
Disadvantage.
when they attack me, they are attacking at disadvantage, and then it only deactivates when I get hit, and then it,
Which is hard enough to begin with.
and then it reactivates at the start of my turn. So
Oh my god.
yeah.
Well, that is
It's super
perfect.
good. That's why I was like, I was like, I'm just gonna try and see if Havoc's gonna give me something.
I mean, both times I've run this, that's been something that's come up in the search. So I'm like, yeah, sure,
It was
that's
meant
fine.
to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other shopping you would like to do? Or are you ready to start heading out?
Think we're ready.
I'm good.
On the road again.
Mhm.
All right. So as you all get ready to leave, one thing did slip your mind as you're already traveling out. You've been traveling for about a day or so, heading to the north, towards the spine of the world, following this map. As you traveled, you were reminded of the rewards you were promised. Nothing substantial, really.
Mhm.
Just anything you found while investigating and probably slaying these giants was yours for the taking. But you all thought yourself, surely that would be worth the threat of imminent death.
Yeah!
That's fine.
Yeah!
All right.
For the good of the realm.
Yes, for the good of the
Can I
realm.
get some of your fingernail clippings there, Mr. Giant?
desecrating
Fingers.
corpses? Alrighty, so
No, I just want his fingernail clippings. He doesn't have to die for it.
It does have to be the whole fingernail for it, so you might find a giant less than agreeable for that. Kind of
Here, I'll
hurts.
give you a turkey.
So you're all traveling. It takes you a little over a week to start heading that way towards this steading that was talked about. But as you start moving through, you see the terrain around you starting to become more mountainous and hill-like all around you, and you travel up and down them. But as you start following the map and getting a little bit closer to it, you start spreading out a bit and searching around you. And as you do so, off in the distance, as you come over a rise of one of the smaller mountains that you're crossing over, in the distance, you see what appears to be smoke billowing. And moving forward a bit more, seeing out into the distance, the one thing you've noticed that its visibility isn't as long in the flat places that you've been out, or in this place compared to flat places that you've been before. Mountains limit your visibility, as well as the rain that seems to constantly be falling here across this terrain. But that being said, as you're looking over the edge of this mountain, looking down below you, you see this large, what seems to be kind of a large fortress in its making. It seems to be made of wood and straw and such, but made to proportions that seem really large compared to other places you've been to. And as you're looking over that, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Yay. Cool.
All right. So 5-minute
Yay.
break.
I'll be right
When
back.
we get back, we'll
Same.
continue. So whenever you go into
I-
under attacks, click the little cog under your bow attack,
Okay.
and then where it says ammunition, you need to type it exactly as it is spelled in your inventory.
Okay.
And then once you do that, it should be able to pop up for you.
So I guess have 2 longbow attacks, one that
would.
pulls from
Ooh, true.
Mhm.
standard arrows and one that pulls from your magical arrows, depending on which one you pull.
That's a much better idea.
Make it
I
life
mean,
a little
yeah,
easier.
it's more attacks, but it's still fewer than I have in my attack log.
Ugh.
Oh, by the way, Forge,
Mhm.
if you wanted, or if you need it,
Mhm.
the Rod of Resurrection is available.
We mentioned that before.
Yes.
I have to be attuned to it, though, correct?
Yes.
Which is fine, because I could just take the cloak off and attune to it when needed.
Right,
do
and I
that.
could take one of my items and be attuned to it if I need it.
Yep,
but-
and I'll just drop it into I'll drop it into the bag, and then that way we have it there. So I'll just make a note that I put it in the bag of holding, and we'll be all set.
Yeah, and that thing is fully charged right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Rod of Resurrection, not equipped.
Oh, BCs are gross. They're real gross.
Mm.
What are?
BC powders. It's basically crushed aspirin with caffeine in it.
Oh, that doesn't
Real
sound
good.
good.
I mean, it's really good at getting rid of. I've had a headache for about 10 hours now. And I'm
Ooh,
trying-
that
trying
sounds
to get rid of it.
cool.
So I needed something with a little bit more kick than the ibuprofen I took this morning.
Yeah,
But God, it's nasty.
awful.
Yeah. Put this powder in your throat and swallow, and it also tastes like death. Enjoy.
I can get rid of
Um,
that item.
so I bought the potions of greater healing, and I will split them to the party. Everyone will now have 5 greater potions of healing.
Ooh.
Holy crap!
You're welcome.
You are a gentleman and a scholar. Just testing.
5.
I'm just sad that like nobody finds anything worrying about the fact that I just gave y'all a bunch of powerful shit and
Nope,
a bunch of healing.
Not at all. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're
I
adventurers.
can
We're expecting
finally
it.
do melee damage.
We're expecting bad
Where's
things
that?
to occur
What-
to us here.
Uh,
We gonna die?
Oh, that needs to be a 0.
Take a few more minutes just to make sure y'all get your bookkeeping and everything
Mhm.
done.
Ooh, I finally have a
Um,
melee weapon that does a little bit of damage.
I will also, Havoc, I'm going to... I'd say it wouldn't be any trouble to make 3 or 4 extra vials of the holy water like we had before. I was just...
Oh, yeah.
During downtime, I figured that would be something that would, be a no-brainer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'll have a pack of 10 of those, like, on my belt, basically.
Okay. Just this guy walking around with heavy ass armor and stuff, and then jingling bottles of water
Mm-hmm.
sitting there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing odd about that.
Nothing at all.
I
And
had-
and the best part is I'm in this black armor with a black shield, a black hammer, and a black cloak now
It shifts.
that shifts.
I'm a holy man, by the way.
I'm a holy man. Just saying.
on a mission from God.
Oh shit! I need to add that to the spell list. To the
wait, were those
spell.
arrows +1 or 2?
2.
2. That's
Fucking 2.
Yeah, y'all have officially broke, like, the way I do magic items and stuff like that is that you 1 to 5 you're gonna find common, maybe uncommon stuff. 5 to 10 you'll start finding some rare stuff, more uncommon stuff, and then once you get to 10 that's where you start finding some of the cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
or cooler stuff. I mean, there's plenty of, rare items that are super cool. Can't believe a Displacer cloak is only a rare.
Yeah.
That would be very rare.
Yeah. And I was like, I thought about it and I was like, huh, is Havoc gonna give me the uncommon cloak of protection? And I was like, yeah, he wouldn't do that, would he?
I'm not giving you any more AC, but
I mean, but you technically just did.
I mean, kind of did. I mean, honestly, this is probably better than having,
yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm still not worried.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it. Yeah.
That's really. Yeah.
Like I said, this is the equivalent. What I just did is the equivalent of walking into a room and seeing nothing but health potions and stuff. Crazy ass Alexa.
Thanks, robot.
Yeah. Walking into a room that you know is right before the boss fight because you see ammo and health potions and stuff like that all laying around.
Well,
Oh, boss fight. Great.
Not really a boss fight, but I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have foresight on this module. I know what you're going to run into and what it does to players.
Let's see.
That one isn't showing. It is using the arms either. Maybe the ammunition system is broken?
It's possible. I haven't checked for updates in this server in a while.
So just so you made an extra attack, right?
Yeah.
Just add the bonus to the attack. So
yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
but
that's all I would do.
wanted to take it out of me automatically. But
just do do your magic bonus to it. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Odd. Let's see. Equipped user resource.
Yeah. So the new one's there at the bottom.
Oh,
I'm not caring.
Do you think maybe I could have got like a hooded lantern in town?
Yeah, sure. I feel like
Would
that'd
that
be
be
something
okay?
you could find. Yeah.
Something I could like mount onto my backpack or something, and yeah.
Sure. That seems logical.
Okay.
Oh.
I have 25 things in my attacks and spellcasting.
That's because you have a shit ton of spells.
Yes, and I also have some wild shape stuff still in there.
I'm at 20. So, yeah.
That's the one thing, like, the old shape sheet that I use in the Lupo game has an entire tab devoted to attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as overwhelming as, like, that is.
Yeah, because it just...
Yeah, I really like that character sheet that in that game.
Yeah, it's super nice. I mean, it's got some things I don't like about it, but yeah, like having an item tab, like I can just have a full list of items on its own tab blown up so I can read everything and not have to move off. It's nice. I wish they would go back to something like that with the OGL.
Yeah.
I'm fine with having more tabs. Like, I like the quick reference stuff on the front page, 100%. That's awesome. But give me a tab for it too, so I can use one or the other. Especially the item one. There should not be a tiny little item list in the middle of the page at the bottom. That should be its own tab. That's typically why I try to give y'all handouts for almost everything.
Oh, that's gonna be so good. I gotta remember that.
Just so you can go back to it.
I'm good.
Speaking of which, I still couldn't find +2. That's... What else did I give you? Potion of or speed. Is that in here? It is. Ha. Boop.
You know, it's funny. I still have like all of these things from all of our previous encounters. Like, and I'm like almost like collecting them as like reminders of the things that have went on. Like I have like the Fire Lord's Tome from Tomoe-chan, and then I have the Magic Scepter from Tomoe-chan still. And I have a pouch of the green gems from Kazakh Ghoul.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got caught when you were running out.
We had the sleepy potion of 5,000 years. I'm still sad nothing fell for it.
I mean, like I said, it's something for a level 5 adventure, and you're like, yeah, we're using it at level 10. Yeah.
Hey, hey.
13's kind of low.
Hey,
You
it
have
would've
to
been
admit,
hilarious.
you have to admit that the idea that I've held
Oh,
on
yeah.
to this for a while and
Mhm.
was like, huh, this would be kind of cool.
Like I said, this whole thing is sprawled out over the course of years, and you're just collecting this stuff. Like,
I mean, to be fair, I still have that +1 arrow from the
I still have that
skeletons
as
in
well.
the circle room.
Uh-huh.
Very first item we
Sunless.
found.
Yep, first thing you found,
I have-
+1 arrows.
I
I'm still
actually
using that
have
quiver, too.
I have a
Yes.
I have a part of one of the putrid twig blights that we fought from the very beginning. I have one of those still in my pouch too.
Oh, so my players, I'm running that, and they went and fought the hobgoblins, and
You told me about this. Oh.
they only killed the hobgoblin because the ranger nat 20'd while Zephyr'd.
Cool.
So it was
my
like
God.
20 something damage. Like, well, yep, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
But after they killed everything, there's that twig blight over in the pot next to the throne. One of my players went over. Is like, I water it by spitting on it. I'm like,
You what?
it was an 18 hit. they were rather surprised by that one.
Uh-huh.
That was greatness. But yeah, they actually went and slaughtered all the goblins and the commoners.
Mm.
And then one of them ate some of them and ripped out bones and made weapons out of it.
Oh, and I still use the eagle whistle.
Yes.
I actually use that quite often.
Yes.
Yeah, at least we don't steal the night whistle.
Night caller.
You know, that would have been fun, but no, not for this character.
I love how you still had a rat following you around for a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I was so worried about that. I'm like, undead NPCs, like that's a thing that exists, I guess.
Get ready, Havoc.
I know.
Get ready, Havoc.
You had no idea what you had just opened up.
In our Dragon Heist game, Kai is going to be he's a true necromancer, so he's going to be bringing shit back to life the whole campaign.
goodness.
And he's going to have multiples of them because he's going to be part wizard. So necromancy wizard thralls, yeah, that's going to be fun.
All right,
At least
everybody
I deal
about-
with them.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
everybody
good.
we're good.
Excellent. Okay. I was taking that time to
Prepare.
prepare and edit some things.
Yeah.
Cool.
'Cause, yeah.
I'm so excited. So many new things that we can do and use after that level. At least for me.
I will give you all
Hopefully
the
we
precursor
survive.
since we're starting against the Giants officially kind of right now. That was kind of the prologue to it. This has some batshit crazy stuff in it.
Good.
As far as like items and stuff like that.
Nice.
Oh,
And then I'm adding stuff into it too because I want y'all to have all the magic items.
All of them.
good. Good.
Not just one or two, but all of them.
All
Can
of
I
them.
get a couple of those amulets of protection? Special druid ones?
Nah.
We specifically need a amulet of the plains. Just to mix things up a bit.
I don't think you do, honestly. I think it's fine. All right.
Oh, fuck. What is it called? There's like a box that plane shifts stuff.
Oh,
like
the
this-
cube?
The cube.
Yeah.
That you push one side of it and like you and things close to you teleport to that
Mhm.
plane and then you just push another side of the box and you go to that plane.
It's not cube of force. It's the cubic gate.
Like- Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing.
It's a portal, yeah.
That's insane.
Why not just give us a ring of three wishes then?
Yeah, just might as well, right? At
I
that
mean,
point.
just go for it. It's fine. All in.
All right. Okay. Now that D&D story time and lore talk is done, fantasizing over the magic items you'll never get. So once again, you've come over this mountain. You saw in that handout I gave you. You see the steading scene here. You see some smoke trailing up. You've gotten here about midday or so, just after starting to head towards evening, probably 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. Around you, like I said, you see these mountains, some of them topped with green foliage and stuff like that, some of them going a bit higher, up to snow-capped peaks off in the distance, as you are getting very close to the spine of the world at this point. All around you, especially down in the lower areas in between these mountains, you see this constant fog that you've gotten used to over the past couple days of travel. So once again, this whole area seems to almost constantly be under the cover of rain or clouds. It seems like this is a very not rainforest, but kind of similar to that. I think like Washington State or something like that, just always raining, always dreary. So as you're looking around this, you see this steading down here in the bottom, very, very large. Obviously, doesn't seem to be something that humanoids would build. It seems far too tall and such. As you're looking around it, as you made your way up here, I'm imagining y'all got horses and a wagon and everything to carry any goods that you may bring with you as far as rations and things like that, as well as anything you may discover along your journey here. So with that in mind, what do y'all want to do?
How far are we from the area that we were sent to?
It's about a half a mile or so away from that steading. You're just able to barely see it through the fog and such in the distance.
Do I see anything moving?
Give me a perception check.
Any tall things moving?
Tall things.
Give me a perception check.
Jeepers!
As you're squinting your eyes, kind of looking down, it's very far away. You see the outline of this large building, the structure here, but you don't see any figures moving around it or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. I'd like to kind of scout around the areas, just see if we can watch for a bit before we actually proceed. Because, yes, they want the council that we were speaking to wanted us to go in there, but we don't know what the hell they just sent us into. So I'd like to scout it for a while before we go forward.
Okay. Are you moving closer to it? Are you scouting it out from where you are now?
I'd imagine about the distance, maybe a little bit closer than what we are now. Not by much, though. I don't want to be close enough to, alarm or alert anyone yet.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage as you're spending time to do this. Okay. All right. So as you spend a little time, a couple hours, I would imagine, casing this place out, you see a lot of details that you weren't able to get from your initial glance of it. As you're looking at this place, you see that there doesn't seem to be a guard, a patrol, or anything around it. As you get closer, the view of it, kind of more in level instead of being above it. As you make your way down the side of this large hill, this small mountain, you see that around this place, hadn't quite noticed it before, but as you get closer, you're able to see that it's been cleared. About 1,000 feet in all directions around the steading, you see the stumps of felled trees all around it, where it seems like whoever's inhabiting it has obviously cleared out an expanse around it so they can see anybody coming. As you're looking closer at the place, you see what appears to be like an open air yard or something like that on the back side of it, though you can't see over the walls well enough to tell if there's anything in there. As you're looking towards the front of the steading, you see what appears to be a large tower about 50 feet into the air. You don't see anybody in it, manned it from your distance. Once again, you're not super close to it. You're still a good quarter of a mile or so away from it. But you're able to clearly see this tower rising up that you can assume is probably a sentry tower.
How tall are the walls?
The walls, go up there, like I said, you see this tiered structure. It obviously seems to just be a single story, but is larger, blown out of proportion to the point where it's about 30 feet to the top of most of the walls around it, and then it rises even higher, that closer to 100 feet at its apex.
Yikes.
Can we hear any activity within the... Oh, well, obviously, we're not close enough. Never mind.
Just say from
I
your
answered my own
distance.
question, yeah.
Yeah, negative on that one. Don't have super hearing. Didn't find that magic item.
I did not.
Dang it.
All right. I mean, it obviously doesn't look aggressive, but we don't know how they'll react when we get there. Kind of look back to the party and say, I'm not really sure how to proceed, but I think it would be best if we go in now and do not attempt to make ourselves appear to be a threat to them in any way.
I think that's the best idea. And Havoc, is it just foggy, or is it like kind of stormy, or just overcast with some fog?
It's overcast. Think like a lot of moisture in the air in the mornings when you have that fog kind of around. But it's centering around low-laying areas. Around the steading itself, doesn't seem to have that fog present. It's kind of down below it in the next canyon over. But like I said, you're able to see the steading from quite a far distance away.
Okay.
But as with anything, you can't make out details from this distance.
Right.
I think we approach.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. It's about 6 o'clock or so in the afternoon. Dusk is starting to set in. The sun is definitely going down beyond the overcast sky, but there's still plenty of light outside as you're starting to approach. You see this very large, or very wide rather, pathway seems to be leading up to it, kind of wrapping around it and going towards the front.
I think it might be best if we are trying to not seem dangerous or a threat that we take the path, even though I don't want to take the path.
Right up the front gate.
Yeah, I would suggest that we take this path as well. I wouldn't want to approach from a side and then think us to be an enemy before we even get the chance to speak to them.
All right, so you are approaching from the front then?
Yes, we'll take the main road in.
Okay. So as you're approaching, there's, like I said, foliage and stuff, some trees, not a whole lot of them, kind of the smaller ones, things you expect from a mountain around it. But once again, about 1,000 feet or so away from the steading, as you're getting closer, you see that everything's been chopped down. You see that some of the trees are actually still laying on the ground where they've been chopped up and prepared for firewood, but they're still sitting outside. As you're getting closer and you see this clearing, following the path, everybody give me perception checks.
Wow, another good perception check.
All right, you're all able to see as you're looking towards it, kind of pausing briefly before moving out into the very open area around the steading. As you're looking up, you see the front of this place pretty clearly, and you see this guard tower once again that you all take a look at. Now that you're closer, you're able to clearly see from this distance that there appears to be something up in it. As you're staring up there, you see this large form kind of moving slowly in almost kind of a patrolling circle around the watchtower.
Has it been alerted to us being there?
It does not seem to be stopping or looking in your direction from what you're able to see.
Okay. Just kind of note the location and that it's there. Make sure everybody else is aware of it. And proceed onward.
Okay, you're all just moving forward?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna reach back and pull the lantern off the pack. Is it day or nighttime?
It's still daytime.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought it was nighttime for some reason. Yeah, we'll just proceed forward towards the front gate.
All right. So as you all start moving out into this open expanse, walking forward, dusk's starting to set in, but it's still very much night or daytime outside. You start to get closer. You get within about 500 feet or so. Everybody give me another round of perception checks.
Okay.
Gosh.
Not as good. Lots of 13s there.
Lots of 13s, yeah. Lucky number. As you're all moving forward, kind of keeping your wits about you, looking around, Kalen's the first to notice, but you all eventually do as you're glancing back up at this watchtower, keeping a wary eye up there. You see that whatever form, very large form that was up there, is no longer present. And you find yourselves heading towards what appear to be large double doors set in the front of this very large building. God, I hope dynamic lighting set right, 'cause I didn't check it. Restrict movement. There we go. Okay.
Yes.
Bottom right.
All right. I'm gonna kind of look back at the others before we proceed forward and say how I'm honestly drawing a blank here. Why are we even doing this? I understand that they are attacking the realm, but we know little else other than that. Are we supposed to just walk up and say, by the way, gentlemen, we would ask that you please stop attacking the people of this realm?
I don't really know. I didn't think that far.
Nor did any of us, I believe. Kind of look. Go ahead.
This is what we get for itching for adventure.
Look,
I think we were doing this to find out why these giants were working together more so than why they were attacking. I'm assuming they just do that because, they do that. But why would they be working together? That seems very odd.
I have a feeling we're not going to get the kind of answers that we're looking for. Perhaps, I'm not really sure, but at this point, I wonder if the council was just looking for us to bring an end to this as well. I mean, obviously, they wouldn't want their constituents within the Sword Coast to be concerned that giants might show up and attack them at any given moment.
Right. But they didn't mention that.
They did not, but I have a feeling that if we come back empty-handed and tell them, yeah, we had discussed this with them and they said they would stop, it would probably not be enough.
But if we don't mention that part and just come back with information of why they're working together,
perhaps.
That
we'll
could
have
be
to
enough.
see. Maybe. I hope that is the case, that we can get out of this with just a quick conversation, but we obviously do not have that kind of luck usually.
And I mean, we know where they are if we have to come back.
It's very true. All right, well, then do we proceed?
I think we go forward.
All right, so yeah, we'll continue onward then. Start making our way towards the gate here.
Okay. So once again, as you're approaching, you see these, like I said, very large walls rising up around you. You see these large double doors sitting here on the front.
start to approach. Do I hear anything as we're getting closer and closer to this?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. I mean, I would obviously think they would be alerted to our presence by now.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
So as you're moving forward, being a bit wary, you've moved up to this place that you assume is being guarded and such, but as you move closer, you've not been called out. Nobody's warned of your coming or come to greet you or anything like that. And as you move forward, you start to hear noises coming from this place. As you start to listen, it sounds like laughter and yelling and stuff that you expect to, kind of hear like if you were in a tavern or a bar somewhere. But as you're hearing it, it's a bit different because you hear nothing but very deep voices booming outwards, audible, decibels and decibels louder than what you would hear in, a regular tavern. It seems like probably coming from some very large creatures are the sounds of what sounds like revelry going on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, great. Drunk giants, even better.
Perfect.
I kind of look over at the others and say, well, if this is what we can assume it to be, then do we just open the door and walk in ourselves?
Yep. And how do you introduce yourself? Hey, I brought nothing to this party. Sounds like a bad idea.
What other options do we have then?
Not many. I mean, I got nothing.
Kind of look over at Kaylin. What do you think?
I suppose we should just try and join in their revelry. See if they'll let us enjoy their party.
All right.
Party with the hill giant.
Maybe
I'm down to try.
Yeah.
All right. Then with that, Mark and Nora will walk up. How high up is the handle for the door? Like, can I reach it?
You cannot. It's about 10 feet off the ground.
Oh,
Fantastic.
I don't think I'm that tall.
I'm going to reach back and grab the warhammer and kind of pound deeply upon the wall with it, and then quickly put it back at my side.
Okay, so you're beating on the door?
Yeah, to try to get their attention.
Okay. As you do so, give me a perception check.
Okay. It should. It absolutely should look familiar.
As you do so, just boom, 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 this echoes on this wood paneling of this door. And as you're listening, putting the warhammer away, kind of waiting, you still hear the sounds of revelry coming up from to your north, essentially. It sounds like a numerous amount of voices coming up, seem to be celebrating or something along those lines. Not able to make out any conversations or anything, but lots of talking and lots of laughter and grunts and stuff like that. But as you're beating on the door, you hear nothing. The door doesn't open, but you're able to clearly hear the sounds of very deep snoring coming from inside.
Well.
The lawful good in me wants me to bang on the door again and wake them up. The lawful evil wants me to set the building on fire and walk away.
Is that even lawful evil?
Yeah, it is. Because they're giants. It's fine. Nobody cares.
Chaotic evil in me wants to set everything on fire all the time. But I'm trying to be better.
All right, so I'm going to attempt once again to do the civil thing and bang on the door to get attention so that it opens and we don't have to, like, you know, use our hands and knee to kind of push somebody up to booster them up to grab the door handle.
All right. Okay. Once again, bang, bang, bang. I imagine a little bit louder this time, a little bit more force behind it. And as you do so, you hear it sounded like, you know, a chorus of snoring going on the other side of the door. At least two of them, two different beings doing it. As you do, second time beating on this door, you hear one. You hear this voice cutting off. And a few moments pass, and then the snoring resumes.
All right, so that didn't work. Look over at any of the rest of the party and offer to kind of, I kind of lean forward a bit and offer, like, placing my shield on my back to allow somebody to climb up and grab onto the handles so we can get the door open.
And I'll just jump right up to it.
All right. As you do so, you feel like you got to put a little weight behind a little force. Go ahead and make me an athletics check to open this
grab
door.
onto his legs and pull down.
Yeah, with the assistance of Martin. Interesting display of opening a door as Halion's holding onto the large latch to pull it away and is drugged backwards by Markinor. The door starts to slowly open back towards you.
Jump off Markinor's shoulders real quick. Back up.
Okay.
So as you're moving into this room, you see the source of the snoring now. You see two very distinctively hill giants, and they're both asleep. One of them, as you move into the room, is reaching up and kind of scratching his chest as he's laid back in this very large chair, with the other one beside it. You see in between them appears to be a very large keg that, by the smell, could probably contain ale, or at least did, because it looks like it's empty now. You see huge flagons kind of resting on the floor by these hill giants' feet, as they seem to just be passed out from too much drink. As you're looking around the room, you see off to the west over here what appears to be various items of outerwear, things like capes and cloaks and the like, but they're all very large, giant-sized even.
Giant size.
And you see a couple of pouches hanging off these two giants off of their belts. Not wearing any shirts or anything, but they do have rough pants on, as well as belts that have pouches hanging off them. You see a few more pouches laying amongst the outerwear over to the west wall.
Okay.
Well, at least they're wearing pants.
This map is oriented north, being up, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. God, I hope.
I hope so too.
Or is it like the
is it the shrine where we don't know?
The shrine of Tomoichi?
Yeah, or everything's fucked up. Yeah, no, this is
north was to the left.
Yeah, this one, just for clarity's sake, I don't have room descriptions or anything, so I don't have like cardinal directions, so anything I say is going to be based off north is up, left is
Okay.
east.
Okay. Works for me.
Well, at least they're wearing pants. Too bad they drink all the ale.
Looking at the pile of cloaks and things of that nature, I kind of just look back and say, let's hope that the rest of them are as well.
Yeah.
well, from the sounds outside, looks like,
These guys partied a little too hard.
yeah.
That's fine. Let them sleep. We have more important business to attend to. Start walking towards the door. What do I hear on the other side of the door?
So as you move up, you see another set of double doors. Everybody else is kind of looking around this room, except for Markinor. Give me perception checks. Markinor, as you're listening to this other side of the door, no check is needed because it is just boisterous laughter and talking and revelry seems to be coming from the other side of this big, large set of double doors. Berwyn, as you're looking around this room, you see, like I said, these cloaks and capes and such sitting over here. You see several large bags, probably just size for, pocket pouches for you, but giant size, so they're much larger. One of them catches your eye in particular, though, right under this cloak here. You see what appears to be white, kind of shining with the light of the braziers around you. Looks like something smooth and white is almost reflecting light.
Huh.
I'd like to go investigate that.
Is it glass?
As you move forward, you see this bag seems to have contents inside of it, and as you start to investigate, opening it up and looking inside this bag, you see that the white that you saw was actually a skull. And as you pick it up, you're able to see the very smooth, kind of angular features of what you assume to probably be someone of your race, an elf. And as you look a little bit closer, kind of moving the skull around, it looks large, kind of like an adult. You start to look inside, and in this large bag, you see what appears to be a bunch of skulls, at least 20 or 30. And as you're looking them a little closer, you find the disturbing fact that some of these skulls are much smaller than the one that you saw initially, child-sized even.
I grab one of those child-sized skulls and one of the adult ones.
Markinor doesn't know this.
And I kind of just walk over to Markinor and just hold him out in front of him.
Don't do that.
With anger very, very clear in my eyes.
I look at Berwyn, very calm and very serious, and say, none of them leave this chamber.
I just nod my head.
And immediately grab the warhammer, motion to Aelion to grab the door and pull it closed.
I'll pull out one sword and yank open the door.
All right, so you're opening the door here?
Not that one yet, no.
No.
I want to get this door closed.
The main door.
Oh, close it.
Okay, I thought you were opening
We got two sleeping giants.
Yeah,
first.
we're taking care of that first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
all right, so
I'll
shutting the door.
push door, kind of quietly, try not to wake them.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
If my banging of the warhammer, not once but twice, didn't wake them,
True.
him closing the door shouldn't wake them either.
Yeah. DC on stealth check. 1.
Yeah.
So as you shut this door, you're able to, once again, grunting with the effort of it, but you're able to pull this door shut. And as you do so, you do it fairly quietly. You do see this giant directly to your south kind of stir a bit, his head tilting to the side, and it kind of rests on his shoulder as he begins snoring loudly again.
I'm immediately point to the one to the left.
Yes.
And
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we decapitate him?
We're gonna do something. What do I want to do here? I wanted to do something, and I don't know what I want to do.
I'm ready.
I look over at Kaylin and whisper, silence? As in, do you have silence?
I don't. No.
Okay.
Silence for me.
Damn it. That would
Got
have
rid
been
of that
ideal.
one.
That would have been ideal. Okay.
I don't have it.
You don't have it either?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
I don't know that I can actually get it though.
yeah, we're dropping the 2 hill giants. So, there we go.
But I got something I got something for him.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm then gonna immediately motion and begin my charge forward.
Okay. Everybody intent on murdering these things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Less than. They are less than things.
Okay.
They're officially
All right.
less than things.
They are less than things, apparently. Okay.
Mhm.
Everybody roll for initiative for me then. And you will have a surprise round.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Look at all of those 10s and...
I've still only rolled 1 double-digit dice.
But that was a double. That's the one.
That was an 8.
No, that was an 8. No, you're right. Mhm. You're absolutely right.
Gonna be one of those.
It's just carrying over from last Wednesday.
It's fine.
Leave that.
As long as we don't die here, I don't care.
That's yet to be seen. All right, so as you all move forward, kind of silently nodding to each other with this realization that diplomacy may not be the best course of action, as you've now seen firsthand what these giants have been doing to the people of the Sword Coast. And with that, all of you having the same intent, Aelion, you're the first.
Come up. Pull out
God.
Shatter Spike. And sort of try and jab it in his neck and just try to cut off his head as quickly as possible.
How many
All
attacks do you get?
Well, I'll have 1, 2,
And
3.
do these technically get a advantage because he's thrown?
Are they
Not
prone
only
or sitting?
they are
They're
They are
Unconscious
sitting-
also.
They are, yeah. So essentially, what's happening here is they are unconscious. They are essentially prone. So you will have advantage on all of your attacks, and if you hit, they are automatically crits.
Yes.
Okay. So with that in mind, without advantage, those 3 will all hit.
Okay. So I'll need to reroll those.
Yeah.
So just
They're all
roll your
red.
damage.
2 and 3.
Okay.
So
And then just roll one more, or we'll just max. Say the second one's the max one. So go ahead and do your max damage for the second rolls, and tell me what it is.
Oh, good gosh.
so
eight-
then
eight-
let's see here.
eight.
So just add 8 to all of
8.
these.
Yeah.
So 24
Add
plus
8
four,
times
that is.
3. Yeah, 24.
Calculator.
Plus 22. Plus
Yes, giants deserve
is
death.
Giants' favorite
Especially
enemies of
these.
yours?
No.
Oh.
Especially
So I
these
have
after
29
after
plus
what we just seen.
24 is 53.
Plus your rapier.
Plus the rapier is another 18. Then I also have that since the third one hit. So another 13.
Is it dead?
No. Not
Plus another after the 18 for your rapier. What else?
yet. Plus
13.
5. Oh, plus 13.
Because that
for
gets the crit
Oh yeah,
bonus,
because
right?
it's
'Cause it's the first turn.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah. So 8 plus 5 is 13. All right. Well, that doesn't get maxed though. So go ahead and roll the
so
d8.
then just plus 5.
Well, that'll get rolled twice though. So roll one more d8.
Oh, okay.
It's only your weapon or spell hits that get
Right.
maxed.
Mhm.
So all right. So 8. Okay. Alrighty. So Aelion moving forward. I imagine a tad of rage in his eyes, just springs Shatterspike and his rapier around, slashing into this hill giant, cutting through its belly, slashing open wide cuts and wide sloughs through it, just decimating this thing. But it is still alive as it wakes up with kind of a gurgled shout, the blood already entering its mouth from these vicious wounds it's taken. But it is still alive. But surprised, Markinor.
Gonna move right here. And I'm also actually no, that's not what I want to do. I want to go over to this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to smack it twice. You said advantage.
Advantage and auto crit.
And auto crit.
Good gosh.
Wow.
Hey, at least one of them hit.
Well, unfortunately, the first one's
shit.
going
First
to
one
miss.
missed.
You only really needed one to hit, to be
That's
fair,
fine.
though.
And
Mr.
I'm going
Paladin.
to, because it's considered auto crit, I'm also going to Divine Smite.
Okay.
So
What level is the
Yeah.
question?
so that's going to be 19 on the base attack, and I'm going to Divine Smite at 4th level.
Okay.
Oh, good God.
So
So what, 10d8?
let's see. 48, so 8d8.
Is it? I thought it was
Yeah,
one above
it's-
level. I thought.
So
I'll
it's
be wrong.
2d8 for a base plus 2, 3. Oh, yeah, so it would be 10d8.
So a
And
total of
D8.
10 D8s.
Jeez. That's
Yes.
absurd.
For an additional 50 damage on that.
Okay.
And
Above average.
it is. And then because he can't react, correct?
Nope.
So I'm going to move right here.
Okay.
And then that's going to end my turn.
All right. So 2 big blows coming from the Hammer of Durgan, and the first one unfortunately misses, slamming into the chair beside him, just Markinor in this fit of rage, unable to get the first one, but he calms himself as he brings the second one around, catching this giant right on the side of its shoulder. You clearly hear bones breaking as the impact of the weapon does damage, and then radiant energy explodes through the wound, exploding through this thing's entire body. It wakes up with another shout, not loud enough to kind of echo around the chamber or anything, but it's definitely awake now. All right, Kaylin. They are still prone.
But since they're like, what are they, large creatures, or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
would that still make it disadvantage with a ranged spell attack?
No. They're huge, right? These are huge.
Yeah, they're huge.
So
I would
it
say no, you don't. Yeah, you don't have disadvantage on it.
Yeah.
They're too big.
Yeah.
So I would still have advantage then.
I'd say if it was me, I would say
Or do I have to
they would
melee to
just
get
have a
advantage?
standard attack.
You'll have to melee to get advantage. Otherwise,
Yeah,
normally on prone
that's what I would
targets
say
you
too.
get disadvantage with a ranged attack, so we'll just cancel out the disadvantage since they're so
Agreed.
big. But you won't have advantage.
That works.
That's what I would think too.
Alright, so many toys that I don't want to waste, so just do this one.
Warlock, say the line.
Say the line, Warlock.
All
No,
right, 16.
Warlock
26.
points a finger and just goes pew pew.
All right, both hit. Which one were you targeting?
Sorry, this one.
That one. All right. For a total, was that 26?
26.
All right. So as this one's beginning to sit up and rise, you see it reaching down for a large great club that was sitting next to it. But before it can even grab hold of it, 2 Eldritch Blast bolts streak out and hit this thing right in the side of the head. The first one knocks its head to the side. And as it kind of comes back up, it gets caught with the second one. And as it does so, the whiplash from this force damage, you all hear an audible crack as its neck snaps. And it dies.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, asshole.
It had 26 HP left. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Berwin.
How's the one over there look?
Pretty beat up.
Took
He
a
is definitely bloodied.
60-point shot.
Okay.
Almost 70. That was almost 70, wasn't it? Yeah.
Alright.
Almost 70.
Gotta figure out what I want to do now. Didn't expect y'all to do that much damage.
No, we need them to die before they can alert the others. So
I know.
they die. All of them.
Okay.
All of them die.
You know what? F it. I'm pissed. I'm gonna cast Blight on him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Blight's amazing.
Should be within range.
Yeah.
30 feet? No, I need to move.
Very large chamber.
I am only 60 feet though, so as long as I move.
Yeah, so you've got range, but like I said, just don't let the size of these rooms fool you because they are huge.
Yeah, that puts me within range of him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Blight. Con save. Otherwise, he takes 31 damage.
All right. Con save it is 17.
Saved.
Meets a
Damn.
beat.
15 necrotic damage then. Damn.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. So as this is happening,
I leave it to Aelion to finish him.
you see this hill giant beginning to sit up. He reaches down. He's able to grab hold of his great club, starting to stand back up. Not quite out of his chair yet, but he is definitely still alive as this necrotic energy starts blossoming around his arm. You see him kind of scratching at it as he takes damage, but able to fight off the brunt of it. He is still standing. Aelion.
Gonna walk over to him.
No, damn it.
Do the same as with his friend. Oh, others don't get advantage anymore, right? Or do they? Said he's not quite stood up yet, right?
He's not quite stood up. He is still prone, so yeah, they will have advantage. So 27-14 will both hit.
12 and 14. 26.
26. All right. So as you bring Shatter Spike around twice, the first strike goes in and hits right above his elbow joint, is catching his arm that he has a great club in, trying to disarm him. You see him gasp in pain, reaching down to cover his arm, and with the second one, you chop from the other side, completely dislodging his arm from his body. It flies across the room as blood squirts out of the now gaping stub of his arm. He wails in pain as he falls to the ground, struggling for a few moments before he falls to the ground, not moving.
Too good of a death.
Immediately point back towards the door to prepare. How many audible voices could I make out on the other side? Could I guesstimate from what I was hearing how many were over there?
Everybody give me perception checks. Markinor, give me a straight intelligence check.
Oh, why do you do this? I'm better at perception. Asshole.
Jeez.
This.
What the shit? All right.
I see everything.
Damn it.
As you
And here?
as you all see these two giants going down and dying, the rage kind of filling you and them subsiding a bit, getting some vengeance against these creatures. You all stop, not really even breaking a sweat. You start listening for anything else that may be coming with the brief sounds of battle here after about 8 seconds have passed. Yeah, all of you are able to hear that the sounds of joy and revelry and such are still continuing to your north. It does not seem like any of it has subsided or calmed down at all, almost as if your presence has gone unnoticed to this point. Kaylin, you hear another loud grumbling and snoring coming from your west around this corner. Markinor, as you were listening earlier to the north, to all these voices, it was a lot more than you think you could really perceive. At least 20, maybe more.
Oh, F.
Rage. So much anger.
Wait.
Okay, I relay that I feel like they're a lot ahead.
Guys, I think there's one more around this corner.
Ooh.
When Kaylin says that, I immediately start turning and making my way towards her.
I'll make my way over there. And as everybody gets within about 30 feet of me, I cast Pass Without a Trace from the staff.
Okay. So all of your footsteps begin to grow quieter as you're moving forward, slinking. It's the area around you is lit pretty well, with braziers and such burning all around you. As you continue forward, you're all able to hear now as you get closer this heavy snoring, much like you heard from the other two hill giants coming from your west.
Okay. I guess we'll continue on.
As you start coming around this corner, you see a familiar sight. You see a hill giant with a large barrel of what you can only assume was probably ale or meat or something along those lines laying beside it. It's not sitting in a chair. This one is sitting on the floor with its back kind of resting against the wall. However, as you look beside it, you look up above it rather, and you see what appears to be like a triangle of metal, but it's like 4 feet across. It's much larger, and you see another. It's hanging from this tower that you see reaching up above it about 50 feet. Another rope comes down, and you see a large metal rod that you can only assume that this is probably some kind of alerting device hanging above it.
An alerting device.
It's a freaking food bell.
Just,
Triangle. Ding.
Oh.
like just a
Oh,
click to
this
smack
one-
that's gonna make a noise.
Oh.
So this
Is it
one
like-
we would have to kill even faster.
You said that was hanging from like a rope, like the
Yeah,
triangle thing, or was that
yeah.
attached to?
Yeah, it's hanging from a rope.
Yeah, there's a ceiling about 20 feet above your heads, but you see a stairwell leading up and rotating around. You can assume that's probably going up to that guard tower you saw.
Right.
But hanging from this roof about 20 feet up, you see 2 ropes coming down, one holding this large triangle made of metal, and then another holding a large striking metal. Yeah.
About how thick is the rope?
Yeah, so I was going
Pretty
to
thick.
look at Kaylin or Aelion and say, can we cut down the triangle
That was my
before?
first thought.
Yeah.
Shoot some arrows at it.
Mm-hmm. If that's not going to be the case, and it doesn't sound like we're going to be able to, I actually know what I want to do.
I mean, you probably could. It's a fairly large rope hanging from these, or holding these 2 items from the ceiling.
Wouldn't be an easy shot, but you could maybe hit it with a range attack. And...
Would it currently be my go? Or how are we doing that?
Basically, it's going to go back in the... I didn't clear the turn order because it's going to continue with the way it is now.
Okay. So if it's... if we're on my turn, I'm actually going to rush up. I'm going to motion to the others to attack the hill giant. And I am going to rush forward. Where is the triangle at?
It's like hanging directly above it.
Okay. And how long is the rope?
Fairly long, about 16 feet. This triangle and rod are about 5 feet off the ground.
Okay. I would like to grab the triangle, bring it over to the wall, and take the warhammer and smash the triangle with it, because my Warhammer of Durgadin is dipped in adamantine, so hitting the object would be an auto crit to destroy it.
And make a lot of noise.
No, it would just be to shatter it. I'm holding on to the side of it, and I'm trying to break it to keep it from being able to be used.
Okay.
Basically holding it up against the wall, even bracing it in my hand. I don't care if it's gonna hurt my hand to smash this thing, but I'm holding one corner of the triangle to press it against the wall and just bash it with the hammer.
Okay. Okay. When it gets to your turn, we'll see how that goes. So we'll start back at the top of the turn order. Aelion, what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, if we just cut it off of the thing, wouldn't that be partially as effective?
They could still use the triangle to make the audible sound.
Does it really matter if we just kill the giant, though?
If he can still scramble to his feet, and if we don't kill it fast enough, yeah, might matter. And plus, we know there's a lot coming up, so we don't want to overdo this.
I will say that you would be able to cut it from the rope and grab hold of it with an action, if you wanted to do that. Basically, cut the rope and catch the triangle and have it in your hand. You would drop your weapon to catch it, because like I said, this thing's huge. It weighs at least 100 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't catching it.
Right.
I can catch it with a spell.
That's why I'm trying to break it. So
Or we could just let it drop on the giant.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Would
If we cut it and just because I'm guessing the triangle's pointing down, and
if you cut it, it's gonna fall and it's gonna make noise.
True, it's gonna make noise. Well, unless it just stabs into the giant.
It would still potentially fall to the ground. That's my concern. That's why I wanted to shatter it, to prevent it from being able to be a noisemaker.
Well, if I cast levitate, can I cast levitate on it?
Sure.
Is it 500 pounds?
Yeah, it's less than 500 pounds.
So I can do that, hold it up in the air. You guys can cut the rope. I can move it away without making any noise. And when I dispel it, it would come to the ground softly. And then we could go to town on the hill giant without having to worry.
Okay.
And I mean, with levitate, you could just raise the triangle up into the air 20 feet out of reach, too.
Yeah.
Till we dispose of the giant.
You'll just be concentrating on a spell, but...
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. If I could just cut the rope and move it out of the area. Because it wouldn't make any noise.
Right.
I said, whatever y'all want to do.
Why don't
I'll
we
let
do
you
that?
know mechanics of it.
Yeah, but shattering it would prevent it from being a ringable alert where
I guess
one
I'll, like-
shatter isn't
I
going,
think we
or
just
one
let Kaylin
crack isn't going
get it
to
out of the reach of the giant.
Yeah.
be
I guess
enough
I'll just
to let
stabby,
it ring
stabby
through.
the giant.
Start swinging at the giant.
Okay.
It's sound like a plan, guys.
At least that's my train of thought here.
He's probably
Yes.
gonna wake up pretty quick, but I mean, we'll have a bit of time.
So
Touch of time.
let's all creep up right next to him so we can stab him even better.
Okay. Well,
Do we need to roll stealth checks or anything for that?
He's pretty out of it.
yeah, just like the other ones.
Plus 10 bonus. Just for
Yeah,
the hell
plus
of it
that.
anyway.
Yeah, we don't even. It's fine.
So,
You're stealthy as fuck right now.
I also have that. Yeah, we're always gonna be stealthy as fuck now.
so
Great.
is this like kind of like the start of a new combat? So would I get 3 attacks or 2 attacks?
Yeah, this is the start of a new round of combat. I just
Okay,
kept it there for simplicity of not having y'all
Yeah.
have to roll initiative again.
fair enough.
No, what a actually no, never mind.
I'm just
Wouldn't
gonna, I'm just gonna start swinging on him.
I'm gonna move up before he starts.
He is
Unconscious and prone, so advantage and auto crit if you hit.
3. So what happens if I crit?
Is
on
that like
him?
a super
Double
crit?
crit. No,
It does this damage for you. At least you don't have to re-roll it.
just click shatter the crit shatter spike 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, true.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. That's oh my god.
Okay.
63.
You're disgusting.
30,
I just want you to know that.
63.
63.
I'm
Uh-huh.
not, I'm not done yet. Let's go bonus action. So how's he looking right now?
With another 18.
Yeah.
Pretty messed up, but still alive.
81.
Okay.
Don't you have
I'm
that?
Just gonna, I'm just gonna use my action surge.
Okay.
Good God.
Just do it again.
Okay, both of those hit.
Should have just used
Yeah.
the one up there. So
well.
another,
I think he's dead.
Yeah,
another
no, that's it.
17. Okay.
Yeah, no. He had 24 HP left. He's done.
Well,
I don't think we
So-
need to worry about the triangle.
we
So-
overthought that a little
Yeah.
bit.
So as this is how this is gonna play out, right? Everybody's discussing like, what do we do with the triangle? Like, Aelin's like, I could levitate it, I guess, and everything. As you're all talking, Berwyn and Aelion are already walking forward. As you're all starting to agree on a plan, you see Aelion is already lifting up Shatterspike. Rage is filling his eyes again. He just unleashes an ungodly amount of attacks in a few seconds, swinging over and over again. This giant, after the first 2 attacks, begins to wake up, and then the third attack comes down and slashes right through its throat. The rapier comes down and pierces into its chest with like a vaulting leap from Aelion, and pierces its heart. This thing eyes open wide for a split second and then go glazed over as it sinks to the floor, blood beginning to pool around its feet. Or its body, rather. It's dead. It's super omega dead.
Well, that works too.
Yes.
I kind of want to pull up a calculator now.
That was over 100 damage. Like, yeah. That
Real
was
quick, like
100 and... I don't even know.
101.
12 plus 14 plus 13 plus 10.
63 plus 18
and guys,
plus.
that was without Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a dead giant in the room now.
119.
That's silly.
Jeez. And that's not even a favored enemy.
Right.
All of the doors have handles that are the same height.
Yeah, everything is very crudely made here. They just have like big, large kind of knocking handles is what you
Mhm.
see on them. They're all extremely large though.
And
Go ahead.
is the area above this the tower that we are seeing?
These
Yeah,
stairs.
so basically, as you see this right here, you see stairs leading up and kind of doing this winding staircase
Okay.
that if you went to investigate would lead up to the tower,
Yeah.
the
And
watchguard tower.
yeah, and we had seen as we were approaching that it emptied out. So, right.
Do I hear anything coming from up in the tower?
Give me a perception check.
I believe that was what you were saying when we were approaching, but
Yeah,
can't
no,
remember.
it was you. You had seen what appeared to be a guard there,
Mhm.
and then
And
as
then
you
he
got
left.
closer, you didn't see one anymore. You're not sure if this was the guy or not, but
Right.
Do I hear anything up there? The
um,
24.
you do not.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe
So
we
yeah,
should still
I think
disable
it's
this. Disable this alarm.
Markador, would you like to come help hold this thing while Aelion cuts it down?
Yeah, I'll come over and help guide it down.
Get it to the ground without making
Mhm.
a lot of noise?
Yeah, and you'd be able to do so fairly easily. Cut the rope very quickly and
Mhm.
catch the weight of it. It's like I said, it's very large. Everything giant size. Could always keep that in mind in this place. But yeah, it weighs a lot, but you're able to bring it down, carrying it, and then lower it down to the ground without issue.
You're a big boy.
Possibly, I look back and ask maybe we can. What is it? What all is in this area here? Like looking around the chambers.
As you're looking around the chamber, you see, like I said, this large triangle as well as the striking rod. You see on this guard that was passed out, he actually has a very ornate buckle around his waist, holding his belt on. It's kind of set with gems and such onto it. Looks somewhat valuable. You see this very large, kind of tank barrel that as you move closer and smell it, now it's definitely mead was in there that he has drank the entirety of.
No wonder he's out.
I motion to Berwin to go around the corner and grab some of the cloaks to kind of dull the impact of the hammer, so I can just destroy it real quick, get it out of the way, and we don't have to worry about it.
I go grab all the cloaks that I can carry in one trip.
So one.
So yeah, like maybe two.
So
These
like
things are
one
like
and a half.
huge.
So,
These things are like they're like
I take Aelion with me.
these things are made for giants that are like 20 feet tall. So they're about 20 feet by like 10 feet.
Awesome.
Some
So
blankets.
yeah, so they're like
yeah, they're big
freaking
blankets.
drape panels for
Mhm.
conventions. I hate dealing with it. Yep, about
That'll work.
1.5. Got it.
That'll work.
Or 2 if you drag them.
Yeah, we fold it enough so that it'll impact it to kind of muffle the sound and just start blasting this thing with the hammer and shattering it so it doesn't actually make a sound anymore.
I'll say with your preparation, everything, it will be. It still makes a little bit of noise, just the impact, really, more so than the metal clinging on metal, since you kind of covered it up and dulled it. But with the heavy hit from the hammer, this adamantine covered hammer comes down and just shatters it. You hear the breaking, snapping of metal, and as you open up the cloak again, you see just pieces of this triangle are all that are left.
Nice.
Yeah. Kind of look back towards this door over here and say, what do you think? Do we go here or do we go through the main doors?
Not the main doors.
I feel like going through the main doors is a mistake.
Yes. Meanwhile, while he's smashing the hammer, can I go retrieve or carve out a couple of this dude's nails?
Sure. Give me a nature check.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very deftly, you go through and start cutting off. You're able to get 2 nails from the one that you just slayed. 'Cause it seems like the rest of them kind of rotted off just from bad health, bad hygiene. But 2 of them are still somewhat pristine, although kind of nasty looking and such. The cuticles are all messed up. But you're able to definitely use your dagger to kind of carve around it and pull off 2 nails.
Okay. Then I'm
While this
gonna.
is all going on, can I climb the tower?
Sure.
15 minutes later.
That's the point.
It takes you a few minutes, but you're able to get to the top of the tower. A few minutes. It doesn't take that long. It takes a minute or so. You get up to the top and you're able to see not a whole lot because the walls of this place are about 8 feet up to where the opening for the tower is.
Oh, I got a plan.
Okay.
I pop my familiar into existence because it's been sitting in another plane.
What's your familiar?
It's a cat.
Of course, it's a
Mind link with it. Have it climb the walls and look through its eyes to see what I see below. Because it can easily get up 8 feet.
Okay.
What's your familiar's name?
Shadow.
Is it a black cat?
Of course.
Nice.
It's England. What else would it be?
We're all very surprised.
As long as it's not a hedgehog.
I wish. Hedgehogs don't have a very good climb speed.
That's fair.
And cats
Okay.
are more fun to play with.
You now have a character sheet and everything for your familiar.
Yeah, I think I had one anyway. I just hadn't used it.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. All right. Well, if nothing else, you have a token too. All right. So as you're just having it observe around.
Yeah, just looking. Seeing what I can see.
From your perspective, you can see out all across the front, 90 degrees kind of the front of the steading. I can't really see the backside of it because the walls, the roof kind of rises up, blocking your view. But you see not a whole lot, honestly. You see the woods off, once again, about 1,000 feet or so away. But you don't see anybody moving around, anybody patrolling or anything like that. Your cat is able to not only smell but also hear something canine. It's not sure what it is, but it kind of gets a wary feeling across it due to smelling something that is a bit of a natural predator for it.
Yeah, it's no bueno. Guessing that might be giant-sized doggos, so pretty sure Berwin will know what that is.
All right.
What?
But so I can't see down into like a court or anything inside the key.
No, that's on the back side of it.
Okay. And it's blocked by the building. Got it.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna drop out of being able to see through my familiar's eyes but keep it in this plane of existence for now.
Okay.
Might come in handy. And then come back down and let them know that it doesn't seem like anybody's patrolling, but they may have some canine companions to deal with also. Or they may be outside. It's hard to tell.
I would like to take one of... Okay, actually, before I do this. The doors here. Are they loop door handles? Like, they have a latch at the top that you could, like, grab to pull the door open? Or are they, like the flat bar where you turn it down?
From this side, you don't see the looped handles like you saw on the front doors. So you seem to, like I say, you see a big kind of wood plank across it that you could push on to open the doors that way.
They push in.
Yes.
Oh. Not what I was hoping. Damn it. Okay. How do you guys want to go? I'd suggest this door.
Well, we are still sneaky too, so keep in mind.
Yes, we are
But yes,
sneaky.
I would agree that the main doors are probably not the ones we want to go in.
Yeah.
I don't want to drop in on a party of 20 plus drunk hill giant.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll do this door. And again, Markinor will lean forward and kind of brace himself.
Okay. To open the door?
To allow
Stealthily.
somebody to climb up and grab the handle to open it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'll say I won't require athletics checks if y'all are just working together. The combined might of two of y'all will be able to open the doors.
Do it stealthily, please.
Yeah. Try and push open the door quietly. hop on again.
All right. Both of y'all give me stealth checks.
Oh nope. Oh no. I just hit the
Plus
back
10.
button.
Oh, rip.
I'm coming.
28
Plus 10.
when you're cleric
My camera's like,
paladin.
This is
It's
what
a
it's like to be so
28
quiet. What is
spell.
Is
this?
this quiet? What is this?
Oh come on, page load.
And this is why I got this staff. Don't even have to use spell
Character sheet isn't
slot.
loading. Why is my character sheet not loading?
Just roll 20 things.
Yeah.
Because it probably takes a long time for it to actually load this. Or at least my computer does.
It's a deceptively large
There
I'm
we
map.
go.
sleepy. I'm very sleepy tonight.
There it is.
Man. 29.
All right.
28
Yeah.
and a 29.
So as y'all start pulling onto it, you move pretty slowly, pulling Aelion back once again in this somewhat comical fashion of pulling the door open together. But you're very quiet as you do so. The door doesn't even really creak, and it swings open towards you.
Cool.
You see what appears to be a hallway. As you're all moving forward, you still hear the sound of yelling and laughing and merriment coming up.
We don't see a hallway.
Hey,
We don't see a hallway.
Yeah.
you should.
I don't.
Question mark? Roll 20, please.
It didn't reveal.
And
Oh, there it is.
There it goes. Okay, I just moved it back and moved it away.
That's hilarious.
All right. You still heard this, like I said, jovial laughter and stuff, but obviously coming from, you can only assume, giants. But it's somewhat muffled now through these thick walls. Still coming from your northeast-ish, but you don't hear the direct sound of it any longer.
Okay. Continuing somewhat quietly.
You
Do
want
I
us
hear
all to
that
roll
same?
stealth checks?
No, I mean, you're all very stealthy right now.
Do I hear that same, like the same voices coming through that doorway, or is it pretty muffled now?
It's getting a little bit louder as you start moving north. However, you definitely can tell it's not coming from the other side of that doorway.
Okay.
And as you peek around the corner, you see the hallway seems to extend off further to the north, but there's another door to your west as well.
Okay. Wow, it continues a good ways. I kind of motion that to the party, pointing west and north, and kind of looking back to them, trying to figure out which way to go.
I'm gonna walk up.
Follow the hallway, maybe?
I think we should just stay in the hallway for now.
At least
So
where
like it
goes
keeps
first.
going.
Okay. Oh, holy crap! That is a long ass hallway.
Uh.
Oh my goodness.
As you move forward to this hallway, the sounds once again of laughing and such get a little bit louder, filtering down this hallway. Still kind of muffled and such through walls,
Bet
but
there's yeah.
the closer you get to it, it just starts to grow louder and louder.
Just kind of look back. Where are we going?
Keep going. Or do I hear anything to this door to the west?
Give me a perception check. You don't hear anything.
Maybe open this door then? Right here?
Maybe we do check this door.
Okay. We check the door. Or the whatever is on the other side of the door.
You opening the door, or you checking the door?
Check the door first.
Yeah. Always check the door first.
Okay. minus the first 2 doors you went through. It's fine.
Right.
Whoever should give me an investigation check.
Right.
Not me. You don't want me to do it.
Well,
Yikes.
Yeah, so as you check this door, you're not able to check it fully like you've been able to do on other doors previous because this one is just so large. But as you check around it and everything, it seems that it doesn't have a handle on it, so you see the bar kind of to push it open. But you can tell it's unlocked. You don't see any traps or anything.
I'll try and ease this door open
So yeah, we push the door open.
lightly.
Okay, door swings open a bit begrudgingly, but it does open, revealing another hallway and several sets of doors ahead of you.
Do I hear any voices coming from anywhere?
You still hear the sounds of the party going on, but very much muffled as you continue down this chamber. But you don't hear anything else nearby.
I just kind of look back and shrug. Take a step
I feel like
forward
a
to
rat in a
reveal a
maze in
path.
this place.
You see another hallway leading straight to the north, kind of long, but once again, 3 doors presented before you, as well as the hallway leading to another door at the end of the hall. All of the interior here, kind of like 8 to 10 feet off the ground, or sconces here and there, holding torches, illuminating it around you.
I feel like if we're gonna travel through all these hallways, we need to at least see what's beyond the doors.
So should we go to the south first?
As good as any.
Is this door locked?
As you're looking at these doors, you do notice a absence of any kind of keyholes and such for locks. They seem to all just be kind of swinging open for you, and that trend continues with this hallway.
Okay. And you said we didn't hear anything, right?
Nope.
So I'll try and push this door open.
Okay. Anybody helping, or you doing it by yourself?
I'll help him.
Okay. All right, the door opens. As you look into this chamber, you see a large room with beds in it. You see 7 beds before you, as well as other various small furnishings, including chairs, nightstands, and chests. One torch burns at the west end of this room in a sconce. On the opposite wall is a sconce holding a large unlit torch. You see various skins and hides cover the floors. You also see several more garments, giant size, hanging on pegs as well.
Are these like giant sized beds or like normal
Oh, yeah.
person sized beds?
Oh no, they're huge.
That's what I figured.
Almost all of y'all could fit on them.
On a single bed?
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
Does Mrs. Chaotic Evil want to use my fire?
Or do you want to use the fire in the chamber and set fire to the beds and start a fire in the building?
So there were
Not yet. I'm looking for something in particular.
Oh. Okay.
there were chests around.
Yes, there are 4 chests in the room, as well as the beds. You see some bags kind of shoved under these beds. Once again, they're kind of high off the ground. 5 feet or so is where the bottom of these beds starts.
Oh my god.
And then you see, like I said, a torch on the west side is burning, and the east side is not burning.
That's at eye level for me.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about fire.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for something in particular.
I would say we should check these chests out. I don't know what
Could
these
just,
giants might have, but just,
Mm.
do a
just
quick
burn the whole
rummage.
place down.
That's why I was.
Yeah, that's my plan, but I want something a little better to start the fire with.
Gotcha.
Chest. Is that what
Yeah.
that's supposed to be?
As you're moving forward, looking around, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Duck under the beds, look through the bags a little bit.
Okay. As you're moving by, looking down towards this chest, you glanced up at this unlit sconce and kind of ignored it. But then, as your eyes were leaving it, you saw what it kind of shimmer caught the corner of your eye as you looked at it. When you looked back at it, though, it seemed to just be an unlit torch. You're not sure what it was.
Okay. What are we doing, guys?
So there's an unlit torch
To the east.
to the east. What happens if I light that on fire?
I don't know. You want to try?
It's like over here. Ish.
Checking the range. So yeah, I walk over by Mark and order the torch.
Okay.
Area.
Does it?
And I'm going to use prestidigitation to just snap it in on fire.
As you do so, you see the spark for where the fire starts ignite and then dissipate completely. And you see the form of this torch waver and fluctuate and then resume kind of in a smoky appearance back to the form of a torch. Very briefly, as the form wavered, you saw what appeared to be a gold hilt or something that seemed to be back behind the torch.
Can I reach forward to try to grab the hilt
Sure.
and pull it from the wall?
So
Or
as you do
rotate it?
so, as you reach towards this torch, you see your hand passing through it to what you recognize as an illusion. And as you do so, the illusion becomes transparent to your eyes. And you see hanging on the wall on two pegs underneath the crossguard is a large greatsword sitting on the wall.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And
I will walk over there upon seeing that.
Oh,
Said
you
you
don't
said-
see anything. It's fine.
Do you see anything?
I pull the great sword down from the wall.
How big is this great sword?
Giant size.
As Markinar pulls it down, you're all able to clearly see a great sword that is not giant size, actually. It's very large. It's a giant sword. But it's actually made for, someone very strong, obviously, but also humanoid probably size, medium-sized, mechanics-wise.
Gosh.
I look over to Berwyn
What is it?
and present the greatsword to him.
I take it. I look straight at Caitlin and go,
I cast detect magic. Is it anything emanating from the sword?
It lights up like a Christmas tree.
Magical win, but I don't want to figure out what it is now.
that is fine. Does it come with a sheath?
Yes, it's in a sheath currently.
I'm Erwin.
Trying to talk to the sword again.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking to you. Then I want nothing to do with that thing.
I just set the sword on the bed.
I don't know what you're thinking of doing to that sword, but
It's I touch it.
this just got very weird. We need to go.
Is he caressing it already?
Are you good or are you evil?
Oh, God.
I ignored it. I just immediately gave it to Berwin.
That's it. He lost it again. Why is everybody this
No, I am not working with the giant.
I look back at Kaylin and say, no, he has not lost it.
I just shrug. I mean, I don't like him either, but
I'm
you're
standing
not
right
cursed,
here.
are you? Asking sentient weapons if they're cursed. What could go wrong,
Well,
right?
it can't be cursed if it allowed me to hand it to you.
This is true.
Not necessarily.
Nah.
Well, it didn't. Did it try to talk to you?
I nod. And that's why I gave it to you. That and the fact that I knew you would enjoy a great sword of this stature. Right, Kaylin.
Oh, God. I'm just walked away.
Sure. However, if you you try to do evil things or anything, you will be gone. So yeah.
As you're speaking out loud to this sword, worrying your friends, though, Markador did get a glimpse into this this great sword as it tried to speak with him. You start getting a flood of emotions, and you're able to get the essence, essentially, of its personality. The sword says its name is Waith, and that it seeks vengeance from the giants for what they did to its former master. It says it believes in freedom and allowing others to live as they see fit. It feels sympathy with you and your friends that you have with it. It believes in being very protective of its friends and is requesting to become one of yours.
You said wave?
So Waith.
Oh.
So not out loud this time. I just want to let you know that the way I wield great swords is a little uncommon.
He turns into a wolf and he's gonna carry you in his mouth.
I can't wield you properly in the way that I am right now. However, I am a druid, and that is how I use my current greatsword.
As you say that, the sword speaks to you again, says, "The practice matters not. Are you effective in this form?"
No.
Yes. Yes.
Then, that is all that matters.
Okay.
How many attunements do you have currently?
3.
If you want to use the sword, you have to attune
Yes,
to it.
I know. I figured.
But the sword's power begins to permeate through you as it attempts to attune with you. It speaks of a conflict of your body not being able to handle its magical power along the others. But it says that it can forcibly break something if you wanted to.
Define break.
Essentially
Like-
break the attunement.
Oh, just
No,
unattune it?
Yep.
Not break and destroy the item.
Correct.
Yeah, just break the attunement.
Let me see what I have attuned.
What would you sacrifice to wield me?
Ah, crap. The Stone of Good Luck.
Okay. So as this happens, Waith begins to fill your body with magic. You feel that the sword has a certain vengeance through it concerning giants. Its magic focuses on fighting them. It also seems to have something else that you're not particularly sure exactly what it is until it comes to you a few moments later. But as it's happening, as a sword immediately begins to attune to you, you feel the extra effects of the stone you've had with you for a while breaks away, and you no longer feel yourself attuned to the good luck that the stone has brought you to this point. But you are now attuned to Waith,
Gosh.
who is now in your item inventory. And as you're all moving through this place, you see Berwyn speaking to this very strange sword and conversing with it, but then you see him almost glowing with magical power as he attunes with it, and you see he does a bit of a shine to him for a few moments, and then it dissipates. It seems like Berwyn's concentrated in thought as he's flooded with the powers of this item that he just acquired. But you know that you're deep in enemy territory. You don't know if something prepared for giants is going to be enough, but you hope that if nothing else, it'll be a help going forward against the giants. But that is where we're going to end the session for the evening.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right
Wagons.
back. All right. So that's going to do it for tonight's session. Sentient weapons. I love sentient weapons, but man, against the giants, I know. So punny. Real quick, don't forget, go out and vote Tuesday. It matters, it always matters, but make sure you go out and do so. If you don't know where to vote, go to, I believe it's vote.org or vote.gov. Yeah, vote.gov. Find out where you go to vote. Check your registration locally. Go and make sure that you do your part. We'll be back here on Tuesday with Tyranny of Dragons. Wednesday with Giants, which is going to be fun. Brand new party. Kind of interesting, right? And then we're back here on Friday with Stealing Dragons, which is our Waterdeep campaign. So thank you for being here. I will see you Tuesday. Be kind of nice. I know I currently have Fallout 4 on the schedule for tomorrow. So if you want to stop by and come watch some video games, feel free to do so. I would love to have you here. So that's going to be it. hope you guys have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow if you want to come tune in for some Fallout 4. So yeah, have a good night, and I'll see you then.